Thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the Hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very...
Good afternoon and welcome to Round 7 Black Diamond Cup action. It's Newcastle number 1 Sports Ground, the home side, the Cardiff Hawks, up against the Warners Bay Bulldogs. Cardiff are 0-5 this season, the Bulldogs 2-4. Really good matchup this one. Joining me is Andy Baldwin. G'day, Andy.
G'day, Ryan. As we were about to start, it's Joey O'Brien in the middle.
Good stuff, mate. It's a beautiful winter's day here. Away we go, Round 7 action. It will be Aitken going up against the ruckman from Cardiff. It'll be Clinton James. Away we go. Really good bit of feel in this one. And away they go. Early was Warners Bay, and it was Barlam who got a kick down towards full forward. And it'll be a throw-in early. But, gee, that was some textbook ruck work. It looked like his target down there was Alex Metcalf. Congratulations to Alex on his performance last week in the representative match against the NEFL under-22 side. Must have gone out on a full. It'll be a Cardiff kick-in, and the target was Norton. Bobbles around early. If you've just tuned in, Round 7 action. It's a split round this one today. That'll be Stewart getting the handball back towards Roach. Roach has had a pretty good start to his season. Down there's Rocco for Warners Bay, but it'll be Cardiff to get the kick forward, and that kick forward come through to Chapman. Ball down on centre wing. Pretty scrappy early, as you'd expect. Aiken could have laid a high tackle. Umpire didn't pay it. It'll be a throw-up centre wing. Beautiful conditions, Andy.
Beautiful conditions, very wintry, 18 degrees maximum. As it goes into
Knows his stats, Andy. Koshin couldn't get a handball out. Spinks trying to surge it forward for the Bulldogs. Could have been held. Umpire didn't pay it. Bottom of the pack there is Dustin Spriggs for the Cardiff Hawks. No love lost between these two sides. Average start to the year for the Cardiff boys. Really high standards they set. Never missed a final series. Really need to turn their season around today. But they've got some big ins. Michael Ryan, Stewart, and also Timmy Sheldon to come back in. That's at least 300 games worth of experience for the Warners Bay boys. It'll be Nickel on centre wing. He'll go down towards Metcalf, but just a nothing kick in the end. It was cut off by the same name, but for the opposition, that was Zach Metcalf. Great conditions, as mentioned earlier. The ground is in absolutely picture-perfect condition. This is Pat Quinn out on centre wing. He's going to go inboard for Spinks. Bar TV wasn't covered last weekend. It was a representative fixture. The Black Diamond side, congratulations to them. They were 9-goal winners over the NEFL side, the under-22s. And came away with a 9-goal victory, Andy. It was very impressive. Did you catch any of that match?
Mate, I was umpiring after that game, but I must admit your commentary was second to none, mate.
Good man.
So we got a free kick on for Warners Bay inside the 44 for a high tackle, I believe. And it'll be Prentice.
Prentice in the 25. Tom Prentice.
His 50th game today, inside the 44. It's not a bad kick.
Gee, it was a bit of a pitching wedge, but he's cleared the goal umpire nicely. First goal of the day will go to the Bulldogs, and it will be Tom Prentice converting from a slight angle, 44 metres out. They've been pretty lively, the Dogs, early, Andy.
They have now. I mean, as we thank sponsor Wilson Security. It's Australia's most largest and its most innovative security provider, delivering a wide range of services to a wide range of customers. For all your security needs, call Wilson Security on 1300 Wilson.
Early stages of this match, just over 3 minutes gone. It's the Bulldogs. 2 wins for the season. No doubt their biggest came when they defeated Killarney Vale at their home ground down at Adelaide Street. They're really looking to get their season on track, and they've got a good side in today. This guy will have to have a good game if they're to go all the way. It was Roach. Kicks in the nickel direction. He'll go for his second possession. Just evaded a tackle beautifully. Schindler Taylor went in to do the shepherding. Gee, it was an easy mark drop down there by Chapman. Players all dive in. Scrappy as you'd expect early. Cardiff trying to go forward. They're yet to go inside 50. High tackle surely was over the shoulder of Adlington, who started in the middle of the ground. It'll be Adlington at centre-half back. Who do you feel is going to get the chockies today, Andy?
Chockies today, I think Warners Bay probably got the numbers, but I mean, I'd like to see Cardiff get a win. It'd be a good start to their back into their season.
On paper, I probably thought Cardiff, with their ins, as we mentioned earlier, Stewart, Sheldon and Mick Ryan returned from injury. I think they're probably the better side on paper, but early on in this match, it's been all Warners Bay as they go forward again. It's probably their fifth inside 50. Vukovic is down there playing on Alex Metcalf. Gee, Prentice again. Kicks his second goal for the match. It was an opportunistic goal from the half-forward flanker. Played the crumbing role. And Prentice, congratulations. And early on, the Bulldogs are out to a 2-goal lead. How do you see it?
I see it very quick, very fast. Six inside 50s now in the first 5 minutes, as we thank the Prime 7 in 2015. Prime 7 gives more footy on all nights and live and free. It includes 4 games on 7 Mate, and includes the Friday marquee game and the Sunday night matches. Black Diamond and the AFL, your Prime 7, your local AFL team.
Congratulations to Rowan Pfeiffer playing his 50th game today, as is Deverell for the Warners Bay boys. So, plenty of reason for them to get up today. And as we see again, Roach, the premier inside midfielder for this Warners Bay Footy Club, he's going to have to... The umpires found a free kick there. It will go the way of the Hawks. I didn't see it personally, but it will be their first opportunity to go forward. Quaid will play a key role up there today, as will this man, Ryan. Couldn't take a grab. Trying to clear it out. In there is the number 9, which is O'Neill. Oh, surely taken high down there was the number 6, who was Dustin Spriggs. He's been pretty lively early through the midfield. He snuck forward here. And with these short 50s at Newcastle number 1, he's going to kick from probably about 25 metres out directly in front. Dustin Spriggs, our first look at him today.
Spriggs in. It's not too bad off the boot. John Sullivan moves around a bit. That's a through.
First goal of the day to the Cardiff Hawks, and the first one to Dustin Spriggs. It's 2-0 to Warners Bay. They lead 12 to Cardiff 1-0-6. Early stages, it's fairly open. It's tight in close, but a high tackle which was most definitely there. Saw Spriggs go back and kick a pretty easy goal.
Just go through the umpires when we got a chance. We've got in the field umpires are Joseph O'Brien, Cameron Moore, Jason Crookle. The boundaries are Cooper Williams, Lincoln McCauley and Chris Valley. And then the goals is Jake Lowe, and we just saw John Sullivan give his first measure of the day. Good
man. Thanks a lot, Andy. Aiken again doing the ruck work. So mobile on the ground, a really athletic ruckman, one of the best in the competition. That was Metcalf up against Schindler Taylor. Prentice was in there. He's looking for Schindler Taylor to give the hands off to. He's a little bit quick. But once again, Warners Bay, they're just setting up this wall across the centre of the ground, and they look pretty sharp early with their structures. He's going to go down towards Alex Metcalf. As mentioned earlier, he's playing on Vukovic. That'll be a great battle. Mickle laid the tackle. Cardiff trying to get it out by hands. A little bit fumbly. Look at the pressure from the... Gee, he didn't look like he had it. That's exactly right. There was Spinks on the bottom of the pack. Here's Roach. Again, this is his brother. Started at full forward. Oh, here we go again. Prentice, surely he couldn't kick his third in the first quarter.
Way.
He has, around on the left foot. Tom Prentice kicks his third goal for the game. Gee, as a forward, you love that, kicking 3 straight early. They lead 18-6. 7.5 minutes gone, quarter 1. Gee, he's firming early for the Subway Morisset man of the match, Andy. Is it too early to give it to him?
It's way too early, mate. I must say this now. I mean, we've covered Warners Bay a couple of games this year, and we had that first game when we had them against Newcastle City. They were a bit jaded in spots, but with those wins against Killarney Vale and recently Nelson Bay, they've proven that to be a finals contender, even though it's so early in the season.
They're looking good. They had that big scalp, as we mentioned earlier. Aiken going up against James. Cardiff are just getting absolutely dominated out of the middle of the ground at the moment. Let's see if they can conjure up something here. But it was Rocco who laid the tackle, and away go the Dogs again through Spinks. Goes down towards Nickel and Schindler Taylor. Here comes Roach now for the Dogs as well. They just seem first to the footy at the moment. Got a handball back inside and look for Nickel. They'll no doubt go for Metcalf again, but they don't on this occasion. And out of centre half back, this is Pratt for the Cardiff Hawks. Just need to use the footy well. The tackling pressure's been really handy from the Bulldogs so far.
Not a good kick there from...
Not a good kick. That was Bo who kicked that one. And they're going to go out in the direction of Jake Roach, who had 2 to beat and actually did really well. Ducked into the tackle slightly. Umpire pace holding the ball. Gee whiz, I don't know if that was there. If anything, it was high or a ball up.
And 50 metres as well.
50 metres. He went on with it a little bit, Roach, by the look of it. And I don't think the player knows it. Is it Bo again, Regan Bo?
It's Regan Bo, right? So you went down to Blackdown last week. I mean, I must say, I mean, they were struggling in the first quarter, but probably they had enough muscle in the last 3 quarters. Yeah,
I don't know if anyone was tuning in last year to the rep game. It was a carbon copy of that one. Blackdown were blown away early, but the Cream Roach at the top, and with the bigger bodies, they just ran over in them in the final term and second half, more specifically. Anyway, Luke Roach started in the middle of the ground. His target was Aiken, but the kick was a little bit too big for him.
I'll tell you what,
umpire stops play. Nickel was away there for the Dogs. Lucky Cardiff on that occasion.
I don't know whether the runner was involved in that one. It was against the runner.
Oh, it was against the runner, right. Okay, well, Zach Metcalf. He's going to go into the middle of the ground as Sheldon, one of the ins today. That's the reason I tipped them at the beginning of the day. I thought they'd be red hot with their experienced ins. This is Adlington, started in the middle of the ground, just kicks into the man on the marker. Cardinal sin. Pratt goes onto his left side and delivers pretty well, actually, down in the direction of Ryan. Did well, just turned his opponent inside out there, went back on towards his right side, comes back inside. Oh, this is Thompson, Trent Thompson in the number 1 jersey today. It was Ryan who gave it down to Nick Chapman. You can just see them setting up their wall here across centre half back. Michael Norton down in front of us for the Cardiff boys, but the tackling pressure of Warners Bay has been sensational. It was Roach on that occasion who laid a very heavy one. And as mentioned, both sides desperately needing wins. Cardiff more than Warners Bay, but Warners Bay are pushing for that finals berth. They proved they can beat the top sides, knocking off Killarney Vale at Adelaide Street a few weeks ago. And they're right up and about. Ball sort of bobbling around. Ryan's in there for the Hawks. Tackling pressure really, really good here. Oh, and doing well. Snapping around the body, just missing to the right-hand side. It was Adlington. And Adlington misses to the right there. Hitting the first behind of the match. Warners Bay early, leading the Cardiff Hawks. 1-1, they're 7. First kicking for the match. Let's see how Warners Bay structure this one. They're going to come out to our commentary side. And it was a good punch over the top there, made by Quaid over the top of Rocco. Boundary throw in on the 44. Many thanks to Newcastle Herald, Star 104.5 and BLK. Got great sponsors in this one, and also Bar TV for covering a match of the round every week this season. Pretty much at the halfway point of this season, as we'd expect. Terrigal Avoca, Killarney Vale, Newcastle City, the top 3 sides. At this moment, it looks like Warners Bay and Nelson Bay are challenging for that finals spot. Cardiff will desperately want to see a change to that. That'll be Norton, who kicked to centre half forward. Mark couldn't be taken. Quinn was in there, as was Stewart for the Doggies. He's going to go out to that man, Prentice. It was cut off there by Thompson. Got a left-handed handball out. Cardiff trying to surge forward, but look at the numbers around the pack for Warners Bay. All the play at the moment. Through centre half back they go. I heard a whistle. Might have come from a different sporting oval around here. There's plenty going on. Here goes Roach. He's got no one to kick to. Had to have a bounce. It wasn't a great bounce as it turned out. Look at Nickel just turn him inside out and kicks down towards centre half forward. Is he going for Bartlam? He is. Couldn't take the mark. It was well done there by Sheldon. Away goes Vukovic trying to arch the back and kick. But he's only going to go as far as Quinn, who's been racking them up early off this far wing. Oh, and look at the delivery. Goes out to his skipper in Bartlam. And Warners Bay, when they go forward, Andy, they just look the cleaner side.
Indeed. No, I'll give you that. Scotty Bartlam's going to have a shot on the 44. About a slight angle. You think he's about 60%, given he's got a good kicking boot.
He does. Very good player. Bartlam, don't worry about that. He'll go through the middle. Possibly play a little bit of time in the ruck, but the majority down in the forward line. Bartlam. He's going to kick from 44, as you heard Andy say. Possibly a little bit longer. It's a shonky-looking kick. And Sheldon elects to play on straight away. I don't know about that option. Quinn couldn't cut it off. Koshin's in there, as is Stewart for the doggies.
I think we'll have a ball up about 60 out from goal. So.
Congratulations to young Jack Hardman on debut, the 15-year-old in the number 7 for the Warners Bay, a highly touted individual. He's involved in the state program, just 15 years of age. They don't debut much younger than that, so we'll get a first look at him today. But a really well-balanced side from Warners Bay, and they've started the game exceptionally well. They've kicked 3 straight. Cardiff have been jumped early at home here. Another boundary throw-in. Gee, they just look rushed at the moment, don't they, the Hawks? But trying to find a little bit of balance as they go out through half-back. The target down there was Pratt. But once again, they go inside 50, looking for that man, Alex Metcalf. It'll go to him on the bounce. Thompson's there. Gives a handball back. That's Zach Metcalf. 2 Metcalfs playing in the 150. That's going to be chaos for us in the commentary box. But the switch was on. And away go Cardiff, trying to get their running game going. This is Spriggs, the goal kicker. Handballed inside to Sheldon. Oh, just a drop mark. Scrappy play there. It was Dalton who couldn't take it. And Bartlett. Centre of the ground. Untidy kick. The Cardiff player just grabbed his opponent by the scruff of the neck there.
Nick Koshin.
Go down to Koshin. He'll play all over the ground as well. His target's Ryan. Why wouldn't it be? Stewart did sensational to drop back. He's got Deverell on here. Deverell the 50 gamer, but Stewart elects to just go himself and kick to the half-back flank. Roach was worked under the ball a little bit. Rocco was in pursuit, but the Hawks, that man Spriggs, took clean possession. Thompson was there for him, but you just see the hard tackling from the Dogs. Umpire's going to pay a free here to Cardiff.
I think it's for a holding.
It's going to be Thompson to take the kick. Just sucked Roach in a little bit there, picked him up right in front of the umpire's eyes. It was probably there, but an absolute putrid kick.
Putrid kick.
So was that one. Skill errors everywhere early. Oh, watch out from behind. Pratt later tackle down there on Hardman, the young man on debut. Goes down towards Prendergast. He couldn't take clean possession. The last few minutes have been very scrappy, but away they go. There's that man again, Prentice. He started the game sensationally. His target was Metcalf, I believe.
Another scrap through from
but Sheldon, who looks like he's playing a loose man, Andy, down the back line.
Loose man, all right. That was
Was it behind?
Was behind. He's going to go back.
So Cardiff early. I've seen Sheldon run off his opponent. I don't actually know who he's playing on, so we'll have to have a look. I might get you to have a look at that stats to see if Sheldon is in fact a loose man back. It'd be very early for Cardiff to be putting a player back. Absolutely. It'll be Norton to take the kick. He's at centre half back for the Hawks, and another one of these risky kicks through the middle of the ground. Gee, he was just jumped into the back there. Was Adlington, wasn't given a free kick. And away go Warners Bay. They've dominated this part of the ground early, and that's high tackle on Roach. And the Cardiff player, that was silly. The Cardiff player just went on with it, threw a couple of jumper punches at the bottom of the pack. I don't know what he was doing, whether he was aggravated or... And it's been reversed, has it?
Well, I think it was a holding the ball originally. But
it was a holding the ball decision on Roach.
Yes.
I don't know if that was there. Okay, well, it's
going
to be a goal down the ground.
Tom Quaid.
Tom Quaid kicks a goal. And from what happened here down on the centre wing, from the commentary box, it looked like a high tackle on Roach. I'm told he was pinged for holding, was he?
He was pinged for holding the ball.
Holding the ball, okay. Play went on and went down up forward, and Tom Quaid kicks his first of the match, and Cardiff reduced the margin back 2-6. There's a bit of feeling in it though, Andy.
There's very much. Now I'm feeling, these are local rivals for a reason. The last time we covered them on Bar TV was back in round 5 last year. Back at this ground, there's no love lost between these two, that's for sure.
Mate, you've got a memory like an elephant. How you know that? I've got no idea.
Well, there was Gary Birkinshield, mate.
Oh, right. Anyway, this is Ben Stewart. He's got to have a big game today if Cardiff to get over the line. Goes down towards Koshin. Just getting led to the ball a little bit at the moment, Cardiff. They look a little bit quicker, the Warners Bay boys. Stewart goes for another clearing kick. Down there is Pfeiffer also. Congratulations to him. 50 senior games is a great effort.
And the ball up.
Ball up. A few free kicks paid early. The umpires are trying to assert their authority. They're letting the players know they're not going to take any after the ball incidents, which is fair enough. Kick down towards full forward. It's in the direction of Ryan. Couldn't take a mark. Michael Ryan down there playing on Sam Gibbons today at fullback. Bartland there puts on a Shepherd. But it's well done there from Cardiff to affect the spoil and delivering towards full forward, centre half forward, beg your pardon. That was Jaleef who did that. And a fortuitous kick just lands on the chest of Ryan, who turned around and passed. Was that 15? It was.
14.4 if you ask me.
Gee, I don't know about that. You can see Stewart pointing to the point post where he took the mark, Mick Ryan, and it was the best part of about 11 metres, I reckon, but Cardiff will take it. It'll be Jay Dalton to go back. He'll kick from no further out than about 15 metres. This is to level up the scores. Dalton just chips it over the goal umpire's head. They kick their third. And it's 19 apiece, about to tick into time on. First quarter here at Newcastle number 1 Sports Ground.
So we're just about to hit time on here. 19
Good game, Andy.
Very quick, very fast game, right? I mean, the last 5 inside 50s have been all down to Cardiff. But, I mean, you never know about these two teams. Bad blood can be spilt somewhere.
Just looking around the ground, a few celebrities. Young Heaney's here. Young Swans player Tony Shaw also at the ground as well. Bartlam just sells a little bit of hand candy. It's all happening at Newcastle number 1. Why wouldn't you be watching this game? And away they go again, the Bulldogs. And look at the delivery. It was down to Metcalf. The kick came from Hardman. Here's Metcalf. He goes back to Hardman on his right side. Terrific smother there from Sheldon. And the ball actually stays in for Sheldon. And away go the Cardiff boys. It's going to be Jaleef to kick. He goes down towards centre wing, but he was... and it looked a little late. Is he going to... No. Well done there. Roach took a grab. Could have been impeded, but he's going to take his kick from where he took the mark. Hardman again. Gee, it looked a free kick. He was clean below his ankles. Here's Sheldon. Such a composed player. And away goes Cardiff. This is Clinton James. Started in the ruck. Goes out to Thompson. Cardiff just working their way back into this match. They were blown away early. It's the 3 goals to Warners Bay, and they've all come courtesy of Tom Prentice. And he just ducked there, did Prentice. It looks like Mahn through the 45. Loads up. It kicks long. Does Mahn and misses to the right.
Just in the near side for a one score. 22 minutes, nearly 22 minutes in. Got to thank probably, some of the good sponsors that have been on the fence there from Cardiff, I suppose. Something new.
Yeah, absolutely. He's paid a mark there, has the umpire. Absolute picturesque winter's day at Newcastle number 1. You don't get many better days to play footy. Been a really good opening quarter, beg your pardon, thus far. That was Pfeiffer. Went down towards Hardman. He's been active the last sort of 5 minutes. He looks quick. And down to Spinks. He's been pretty good as well. It's the young, quick guys of this Bulldogs outfit that are really taking it to the Cardiff boys. Nickel keeps it in, gives it off to Aiken. Just put it on the... He probably had more time than he thought and just tried to screw it round the banana. It was to no avail. It will be behind their 2-point leaders at this stage, the Warners Bay Bulldogs. As mentioned earlier, it's a split round, round 7. After the Black Diamond boys had a convincing win over the under-22s Neefle side last week. Throw up, time on, first quarter.
Jason Crook on, we don't a bit more. So Jason Crook will throw it up.
He's been everywhere. It's done some crazy umps. Aiken takes front position. That was Stewart. It's well done here, the Bulldogs out on centre wing. That was Cameron Earl who punched over the top.
That'll be another ball up.
Can't be long left now. First quarter here at number 1. That was Dalton on the bottom of the pack for the Hawks. Desperately needing a win, needless to say. Both sides with more losses than wins, which is what no club wants at halfway through the season, but they're fighting hard. That was Hugh O'Neill who kicked a centre half forward. But it's Luke Roach who's been pretty early. He chases that ball out there. Thompson's had a bit of it as well. But away they go, the Bulldogs. That was through Prendergast. He's going to chase after his own footy. Prentice is down there. Surely he couldn't bag 4 1/4. Looked like he almost threw it out, and good decision. No advantage paid.
Take 2 back and you go. 4 minutes to go in the quarter.
So penalised for a throw was the Warners Bay player. I think it was Prentice. Thompson, here we go again for the Hawks. Goes down towards Ryan. Got the hands out in front, but he was very well marked down there by Gibbons in the 13 for the Doggies. Ryan's been leading early, but he's just getting beaten for pace a little bit down there at the minute. Away goes Roach. Both Roaches have started really well. Quinn out on the wing. He's got quick feet. He looks really lively. Out the back they go again, the Bulldogs, and they've been probably the better side in the balance of midfields at the moment. They've got the guys that are willing to go in and get the footy, and they've been good with their handballs out the back of the Doggies, but it's only a 2-point advantage to them.
Would you consider probably the first 12 minutes was all Warners Bay, and now it's the last 12 has been Cardiff, probably?
Yeah, out at half back, they've looked a little bit less pressured, the Cardiff boys. Both sides are probably trying to kick to, with Warners Bay, they're going for Metcalf. With the Cardiff boys, they're going down to Mick Ryan. But no forwards really able to gain the ascendancy. It might be a battle of the midfielders and the small forwards, as we've seen Prentice kick 3 goals early.
That was a push.
Love to see the free kick count early. Been a lot played. That one went to Spinks.
Unfair. That's a soft 50 metres.
Given a 50-metre penalty. I don't agree with it. I don't think it was there, but it's been given now. And it's going to be Jake Roach. And a 50-metre penalty at number 1 sports ground will just about always put you within striking distance. And it was a gentle push. Roach went down and was given 50-metre penalty.
Slight angle for Jake Roach. And he's pushed it for a minor score.
Key opportunity there for Roach. Just pushed it out to the right.
7 scoring shots to 4.
If you're just tuning in, Warners Bay in their typical Doggies red, white and blue outfit. Cardiff for their home side today. They're in the maroon and gold. And they come out to this flank, but even on that occasion just looked like Warners Bay had more numbers, and it was Stewart who kicked at 40. You went for Prentice. Why wouldn't you? The kids kicked 4. Most definitely a high tackle, and it'll be Jack Hardman, who has to be said in the second half of this first quarter has been very lively and looks completely at home playing senior footy, does the young 15-year-old Andy.
Yeah, right. I'll get him in from here if you ask me. He's a good kicker. Oh, look at that. Welcome to senior football, son.
Welcome to senior football. Jack Hardman, the first goal in his Warners Bay career. And look at the boys get around him. They love that. The young man, he's brought a little bit of class to the side. He's been active in about the last 10 minutes, and Hardman kicks his first goal for the match and his first in senior footy in Doggies colours. Congratulations to him. 28 plays 19. Can't be long left here. Nearly 27 minutes gone. Opening term, number 1 sports ground. Cardiff are going to have to come from behind if they're going to win this one today, but it's pretty tight. Just Warners Bay at the moment, who are a little bit more polished around the contest. And a sloppy tackle there up forward allowed Hardman to kick his first goal in senior footy. Atkin up against James again. It's tight and it's tough, as you'd expect, these two sides. But here we go. Downing kicks forward now for the Bulldogs, and a great grab down there taken by Prendergast. And there can't be long left. He might end up kicking after the siren. We're not sure. Beg your pardon. No, plenty of time for at least another score for the Doggies. He's going to go back and line up. How far will he kick from, Andy?
He's going to be kicking from about 46 on an angle that would be perfect for a pizza delivery man to drive through. I'll get him in from
here. All the facts, this bloke. Don't worry about that.
46.
Prendergast.
No.
This is to the left. Backed himself in. I like that, though. I think the coaches would be okay with players having a ping from the 44 mark here at number 1. Smallest 50-metre arcs in the world.
Apart from the SCG, probably.
Yep, not wrong. Sheldon. Playing in the back line today, Sheldon.
Rare.
Such a great midfielder, but they've obviously got a plan to the Cardiff boys, trying to stem the flow a little bit. This is Nickel, I believe. Beg your pardon, it's Deverell. He's going to kick to Hardman again, and this boy's just rise to the top.
It's rising about 6 touches
Lovely drop punt kick. Sheldon came over the top and affected a good spoil there on, might have been Prentice. And here's Spinks. Look how active he is. Spinks, he's just got no one chasing him. Straightened up from about 40 metres out and missed to the right. So much of the footy at ground level, the Warners Bay boys just look so much quicker. What can Cardiff do to try and stop this flood of goals at the moment? They've certainly gone inside 50 more than the Hawks have. Deverell just sat in the hole. Here's Adlington for the Hawks. That was his left side, but it's all Warners Bay. They're a little bit fumbly. Down there's Rocco. Gives the handball out to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer tried to break a tackle. Was he pushed in the back? It was holding the ball. It was going to be one or the other, I believe, and it was a good tackle laid there by Quaid, the goal kicker. Cardiff go inside 50. They need a goal. They go to Ryan again, but he's out. Oh, great grab. Michael Ryan takes a mark 30 metres out, just about directly in front. That's the first one he's clunked today. And when this guy gets going, he's a force to be reckoned with, Andy.
Very much. Oh, we played on. Oh, no, you don't do that. Even though it went through, you had to go for it, Nick.
He handballed it, did he?
He handballed it on.
He's a different bloke to what I knew.
Yeah. Well, we're just about to tick 30 minutes, which is one of the rare 30-minute quarters we've had in this season.
Looking at thinking of a few forwards around, not many would handball from that situation. So,
well, anyway,
let's see.
Mickey Ryan.
Let's see if Ryan is. Oh, it's a mongrel.
It's going to be out on the full.
Very average left foot kick there. That one goes out on the full. I thought he was a right footer. There we go. So, an injured right leg has caused Ryan to kick with his left foot. Very interesting. He's playing in the side, though. He's obviously a target that they need in their side. Lincoln Stewart goes forward, and he's been pretty lively. That one only goes... Can't see who it is out there. But they're going to kick back in towards centre half forward. Stewart again affects the spoil. Out the back it comes. This is Pratt. Just arched the back, was tackled, almost threw it out. I didn't see a hand get on that one. Spinks is there to butter up for the Bulldogs and a left foot torp. Just a bit of a mongrel kick, hits Pat Quinn. He's on the half back flank. Warners Bay now in defensive mode. And look at that for a kick. Straight back into the middle of the ground. That doesn't make sense to me. Roach is there, took first possession but dropped it. It was a good tackle laid. Umpire says I'll have it. Some of the decisions from some of these players coming out of the back line have been a little bit suspect. But anyway, away we go again. Koshin had his arm pinged. Very good tackling early. Down there again is Stewart for Warners Bay, as is Marn. But Quaid gets a handball out, gives it back to Pratt on the right foot, spins around, out on the full.
That's free out on the fulls now in this quarter.
Dying seconds here. Quarter one at Newcastle, number 1 sports ground. And quarter time, it's the Warners Bay Bulldogs, 30, leading Cardiff. 19 points. Goal kickers, please, Andy Baldwin.
The goal kickers, Frank de Belmont, 16-footers. For Cardiff, Jay Dalton's got 1. Justin Springs has got 1. Tom Quaid's got 1. For Warners Bay, 3 to John Prentice and 1 to the debutant Jack Hardman.
Andy, you mentioned it before. It was Warners Bay at the beginning who had all the running. Cardiff came back, kicked a few goals. Who have you seen having the better signs for a four-quarter effort today?
For a four-quarter effort, I think probably it was even Steven, but I mean Cardiff, probably Warners Bay won that quarter, but they've got to improve. Their kicking efficiency was not great in the last 15 minutes. Yeah,
spot on, mate. Okay, so it's an 11-point lead to the Warners Bay Bulldogs. They're away from home taking on Cardiff. We'll be back shortly with second quarter action.
Don't miss the Wilson Security Black Diamond AFL this weekend. Entry to all games is free. Check out the game times and venues at bdafl.com.au. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team. Best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Welcome back, number one sports ground here, round 7 Black Diamond Cup action brought to you by Bar TV. It's the Warners Bay Bulldogs at the moment who are leading the Cardiff Hawks 30-19. It was 3 goals early, Andy, from Tom Prentice, who started the game very well for the Dogs.
Yeah, and I think up there as well, I mean, Jack Hardman on debut has done a really good job for Warners Bay. He's had about 8 touches, so...
Hardman's been good. He got a free kick early. It seemed to kind of get him into the match, and he, after that, got a little bit of confidence up and was very clean below his feet. He showed a lot. Anyway, it's second quarter action. It'll be Clinton James up against Aitken for the Bulldogs, the way we started the match. Bulldogs by 11 points. Cardiff yet to register a win in 2015. Desperately looking to get their season back on track, but Bartlam early got the tap down. Cardiff end up going forward, and they go for Ryan again, who's only able to use his left foot today due to a beg your pardon, it was Koshin. He kicks down towards Ryan. It'll be Burns, perhaps, who sold a little bit of candy. That was holding the ball every day of the week, didn't handball it. Anyway, Cardiff come back out. It was Pratt, I believe, who got the kick down towards the boundary line, but I think he was very lucky there. Ben Burns, I think.
Well, it definitely wasn't sour candy there.
Was it Burns or possibly Marn?
Marn.
Who took possession and tried to take on 2 tacklers, ended up dropping it. Umpire said he handballed it out, but boundary throw in deep forward for Cardiff. They'd love to get the first goal of this second term. Players on hands and knees. Dalton's been pretty lively early for the Hawks up forward. He's a target. Kicked a goal in the first quarter. Ryan looks like he's doing the ruck work for the Hawks deep forward. Up against Atkin again. He does some K's. Atkin comes down to Deverell. 50 games today. Swings around onto his left side, but Zach Metcalf dropping back into the hole. Took a mark in front of Prentice. Zach Metcalf kicks towards full forward. Great kick. Hit Koshin at full pace and just had his name written all over it, the big man. That's how they're going to have to lead and kick to them today. They're a taller forward line. They could potentially body out their opponents. When it goes to ground, Warners Bay early on are looking the better side. Talk him in, Andy. Koshin.
Nick Koshin. Hopefully he knows what he's doing from the last time we were up here on Bar TV. He's got a nod kick to that side, and that looks all right to me. Nick Koshin gets the first for the mate for the Cardiff Hawks out the second quarter.
Koshin kicks his first for the game, and the Cardiff boys, they're back to within 5 points. Really good game of footy, this one. Currently playing a really good brand of footy. It was a really heated opening term. No love lost between these two sides. There are, I think, probably 3 50-metre penalties in the first quarter for players going on with tackles and whatnot. Warners Bay ended up settling better, but well done to Cardiff. They kicked the first goal of the match, courtesy of a bullet pass from Metcalf to the spearhead, Koshin. And look at Jake Roach. Just gets the clearance. It goes towards Alex Metcalf. Vukovic did really well to affect the spoil. Got a handball out, and Sheldon through centre half back. He's played the loose man early. Kicks to another contest. Marn was there. And they've defended pretty well, have the Warners Bay boys early in this match. Really got their tails up after a good couple of wins early in the season. It's going to be another rethrow. Who's the boundary umpire out there?
That's Chris Valley.
Chris Valley. And we've got the field umpires, Joseph O'Brien, Cameron Moore, and Crookall.
Jason Crookall, as we're speaking of him now. He's about to have a throw-up.
Crookall doing the umpiring in the middle of the ground. Plenty going on today. We've got an extended half-time break due to Auskick, Andy.
Very much. It's been 13 aside for both teams. Hopefully have future stars for both clubs.
Good stuff, mate. Sheldon slipped over, got the handball out, and away go the Hawks through centre half back. Gee, it was actually pretty well moved, to be honest.
Wow, that was quick again.
And away they go. He goes down to Ryan. The Hawks are just looking really well polished in this second term. Gave the handball off to Koshin. And a mark taken on the goal line.
You think this is a mark?
It was Nick Maddock who had the good work with the 1-2 handball.
Gary Birkinshaw would say it's not quite.
Kit misses that one out to the right. A lot of behinds kicked down there early.
So
couldn't see the jumper number there for that young Hawks player. We'll come back to you for that one. It may have been Pratt.
Ball might have gone as further, I think. But it's going to be Matty Marn to take the kick in.
Marn playing in the back line today. We've seen him play a few roles for the Bulldogs early on in 2015. Can equally play up forward. Target out there was Quinn. It was a good spoil that came over the top, and Metcalf now down on the half-back flank. Had a great game in a rep match last week, did Alex Metcalf. Kicked a handful of goals. Played the majority of his time at full forward, and between him and John Goulet from Terrigal, absolutely brained the knee full back line. Umpire pays a throw. It's going to go to Cardiff. Just selling some candy. He's taken high. He's going to get another crack. That's Adlington. Adlington's Looks like he's got a pretty good motor, actually. He's done a few Ks early in that first term. Started in the middle of the ground. Hopefully looking to play a midfield role for his side today. Goes down towards Koshin and Ryan again. Why wouldn't you? They look pretty active. Gee, crumbing at ground ball there. It was a good punch over the top. Trailing down there for the Hawks is Dalton.
They've had all in the inside 50s, 44s today, so this quarter.
Dustin Spriggs looking really lively down there for the Hawks boys. Mick Ryan just took it out of the ruck.
Just across the face.
Went to that left foot. He's going to have to go to it a lot today with a injury on his right leg. The prolific goal kicker. And the Bulldogs just looks quite stagnant. They haven't got a great deal to kick to. They lead out towards this commentary side back flank. Target was Bartlam in the end, but there wasn't a great deal of structure to it, and the ball just goes straight back in there for the Hawks. Down there is Spriggs. Kicked a goal early in the first term. Cardiff just working it out through their half-back line, but once again it's all Cardiff. Metcalf goes back to Sheldon, playing that loose roll across centre half-back. That was a left foot kick that time. Mark couldn't be taken down there by Pfeiffer. And there was Pratt, and away they go. That's Prendergast, I believe, in the 43 it is. Looking over the top here for Spinks, who was super lively early, but it was well cut off. And away goes Mayo for Cardiff. Kicks towards centre half forward. He was just worked under the ball there. Players going down left, right and centre. You've got to keep your feet, boys. Maybe a slippery surface. On the bottom of the pack there is Pfeiffer for the Dogs.
Still a bit of soft surface from last time we were here, but I mean, the ground has improved.
Exactly. Last time we were here was a night game. Good tackle laid there by Spinks. Did the full 360. Play on was the call. Quinn lays another tackle. And it's Stacks on again. Aiken again doing the ruck work. Game's really tightened up a bit now. 3 points in front are Warners Bay. It was Tom Prentice who kicked 3 goals in the first term. Had it all his own way. Cardiff through Koshin. The only goal thus far of the second term. And in the back there decision, it's going to go Cardiff's way.
They've had all the ball. I mean, they've probably had about now 75% of the ball in the first 8 minutes. I mean, but give credit to Warners Bay. They're trying to keep them out of it.
Yeah, just winning all the free kicks here in the second term. Goes down towards Ryan. Couldn't take a mark. Marn was in there. Affected the spoil. Pratt had a left foot kick at it. But Stewart bobbles it over the boundary line. It was touched. It'll be a throw-in. Deep forward for Cardiff. Only the one inside 50, I believe, Andy, for the Doggies so far in this quarter.
I think they haven't, probably for the first minute they had the first inside 50, but otherwise it's all been Cardiff.
Absolutely, mate. Goes out there. Chapman, he's just working that half-forward line really well there for the Hawks. Norton's in there also.
Scrimmage again. It's another ball up.
Big hit came in late from Marn. Really threw the shoulder in. Whilst the Hawks player was on the ground, it was Norton. Schindler Taylor. Away they go, and this is Hardman. Kicked a goal in his first game for the Doggies. Goes down to his left foot. Needs to make a contest. He couldn't do so, the Warners Bay forward, and it was Sheldon who took a pretty easy chest mark across centre half back. That's Maddock for the Hawks. Kicking towards centre half forward. Down. Just trying to work it out here. The Doggies through hands. Thompson's in there. Here's Chapman. Umpire will have it.
Spinks a little bit of a...
Yeah, he was down, wasn't he? He's still down on his haunches. You can see him sort of limping a little bit if it's an ankle. He's at centre half back for the Dogs. That's Deverill. Alex Metcalf at centre half back. He elects to kick into the middle of the ground, and why wouldn't you? Gee, they're out a little bit here. Here's Quinn. Hasn't got a great deal to kick to, does Quinn. In the end, it was a really good option. He went for Prendergast and hit him. He's at a true centre wing position. Who's he got to kick to up forward? Elects to go back to Quinn. That's just excellent running from Quinn. Downing looks like the option for the Dogs at centre half forward. He might go to Downing in the end. And great work right here. This is excellent to see here from Quinn and Downing for the Doggies. Back and forth the leads. Now who's the next kick going to kick to? Schindler Taylor's not a tall target. They've got Hardman, pretty much the lone full forward back in the goal square. In the end, they went for Prentice, but it was just a stagnant forward line after some really good lead-up work from the two Doggies boys. Sheldon again, who's just racking them up through half-back, went for Marn. But here we go. Looks like it's a Mayo now for the Cardiff Hawks. Through centre wing they go. Good tackle laid there by Roach. Yeah. And some bodies flying in everywhere. That was Marn, I think, on the bottom of the pack. And away they go. The Dogs again. Goes for Prentice, but Sheldon wasn't paid the mark, or he might have played on himself, I'm not sure. Ended up handballing it out to the boundary line. Wasn't deliberate. Boundary throw in. 10 minutes gone. We're about halfway through the second quarter here at Newcastle number 1 on one of the most perfect winter days you'd ever see to play football. Probably about 20 degrees. A little bit less, perhaps. That's Metcalf. Took it out of the ruck. Went with the left foot towards Schindler Taylor. Mark wasn't taken there by the Cardiff backman. Just went to ground. Roach laid a tackle. He was actually fully swung there, the Cardiff player. Metcalf's in there again, as is Sheldon, and it's a throw. Play on. They played advantage. And away go now the Hawks. It's Davis. Quinton Davis gets the handball out to Thompson. And they're out a little bit here, the Hawks.
They've got room. They're going to move.
Yeah, smart handball over the top. And away they go through the 50. Chipping over the top.
Not a good kick, though.
It wasn't a great kick. It was Hillier for the Hawks. Started on the bench. Just it was a bit of an in-between kick. Didn't really look to go for goal. And Stewart there, Lincoln Stewart for the Dogs, who plays that goalkeeper role beautifully. Just watched it sail over his head for a point. This is Pfeiffer.
Some good news for Warners Bay supporters. I mean, Matt Spinks is just having a run around. I mean, we'll see if we can get some news on him.
He'll be back, Andy, you think? Hopefully.
Hopeful.
That's all we can say. Marn. Out towards centre wing and goes to Prentice, who's been lively. We've said it a few times. He kicked the first 3 goals for the Warners Bay boys, and Queen goes to centre half forward. Geez, a good leap by Harbin. We like the look of him. Out there is Roach, who's been trying hard early as well. The work rate of these Bulldogs boys has been pretty good. That's Prentice. Goes down to Schindler Taylor playing on Thompson. Out the back is Metcalf and across to Sheldon. Just sweeping across the ground is Sheldon. Doing it beautifully. But look at the numbers here. Downing aims up at goal and straight through the middle. The kick from Timmy Sheldon went to a 1-on-3. I think it was only Thompson out there for the Hawks. And Schindler Taylor and Downing were out there for the Doggies, and Downing ended up reaping the rewards, kicked a goal, and now it's Warners Bay. They're out to a 8-point lead.
Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider, delivering a wide range of services to a diverse range of customers. For all your security needs, call Wilson Security on 1300 Wilson.
Thanks, Andy. Andy Baldwin, goal umpire, commentator. He can do it all. Knows every stat in the world about any sport. Back to the middle. Aiken again up against James. Has to be said, Warners Bay have won the midfield battle thus far. It's some good play from the Cardiff centre-half backs. They've been clearing it pretty well, but on that occasion they just got a little bit cute with it. The Sheldon kick didn't hit the target, and it was Downing who kicked the last goal. That's Pratt, left foot kick to centre-half forward. Stewart's been terrific there at centre-half back against Cosham.
You've got to rate him probably as one of the best fullbacks in the business. I mean,
yeah, he's just a no-frills player, isn't he?
No fool. I mean, he's been probably playing for at least 10 years, and he's done his job for the Warners Bay side. That's a good one.
Bartlam wasn't paid the mark. It probably didn't go 15. Kick out came from Marn, but it just goes straight back. It might be Hillier, is it?
It was Hillier, and he's passed it on to Thompson, I believe.
And Thompson, who's playing a bit of a utility role as well. We've seen him in the back line, and now he takes a mark. He's going to have to kick from the best part of the 45 line. Cardiff here. It's pretty much goal for goal. There's not too much in this match.
So he's going to come from 43. He's going to make the distance. Yes, sir. Thank you, Toby Tom.
Trent Thompson
gets his first today.
In the number 1 jumper. He's been pretty lively for the Hawks early as Thompson, and they get around him. He brings the margin back to 2 points again, and we've got a really good game of footy on our hands here, Andy. We do.
BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, the Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns, and Brisbane Lions, and the exclusive on-field apparel to the supplier to the Black Diamond AFL. BLK, beyond limits known.
Good stuff, Andy. 15 minutes gone here. Newcastle number 1 sports ground. Split round this week. in the black diamond. It looks like a blood rule.
Yep.
It might be Aiken, is it, for the doggies coming off?
Yes. Got football royalty, as we know. I mean, probably we'll maybe have a chat to him very soon, maybe.
It's Ben Crawley coming on.
on.
He's going to go straight into the ruck and do just a clean substitution here. It was actually Roach who did the ruck work. He can do it all, Roach. Stucks on in the middle of the ground. Said it a few times. They've actually put Sheldon in the middle now, have the Hawks. Trying to start to win a few of these clearances because it's been Warners Bay who have probably had the midfield spoils thus far in this match. Going back was Zat Metcalf, but just came to ground. Away go the doggies, and it missed out to the right. It was Hardman, I think, again. At ground level, this kid looks really good. Hopefully the Warners Bay Footy Club can keep him for a few years. He's still a young fella, only 15 years of age. You liked his game so far, Andy?
I have, indeed. He's now got at least 10 touches, and he's doing well.
Bartlam just sat in the hole there for the Dogs. Ends up coming out, though, through Vukovic and Pratt for Cardiff. Kick was partially smothered. Vukovic put his head over it again. He was tackled by the 50-gamer in Deverill. And he's paid a holding the man decision as the umpire. And it's going to go to Cardiff. Gee, I don't know about that. That seemed extremely soft. Anyway, well done there to Deverill. He affected the spoil beautifully over Quinton Davis.
It looked like in the back to me, but I mean...
Oh, and they're going hard.
So
going in hard. There was Norton for Cardiff. Players just throwing their bodies in everywhere. Bartlam up against Norton. Pratt again, he's been pretty active. As mentioned, Sheldon starting to play in the middle of the ground, and that's the ruckman James who kicks to centre wing.
It's just
touched over the line.
Some
boundary throw in. Good game of footy, Andy.
Good game of footy. I mean, both teams will be watching from their spots. I mean, Cardiff from the Mark Hotel. I mean, and Warners Bay from the Blackbutt Hotel.
Don't know those two establishments. They're nice.
Very nice place for a nice feed.
Very good. Here's Roach.
Oh,
tried to beat a tackler, just fell out and was good enough to just turn his opponent inside out and kick to his brother. And the play was sensational.
Spinks back on the field, which is a good sign.
Spinks is back on the ground. We love to see that. Poor turnover. He went for Metcalf, but Tim Sheldon, who's probably been the most damaging player on the ground thus far, just turns the ball over. And the kick from Hillier was sensational. He kicked it to Quaid, and Quaid, Andy, will line up from the 45. He'll have to kick from 50.
Just on 50 out. He's going to go probably the top for a left footer. And it's going to be short of the line unless there's a play.
Markham will be taken there by Koshin. Pratt went in really hard. Umpire says, I'll have it. He's quick on the whistle.
Yeah, very quick on the whistle. I think that's Jason Crookle again. One of the senior umpires there. Up he goes again. And
there's a tap over there. It looked like they were going for the boundary line there with the Warners boys. Only Dalton was there for Cardiff.
Resulting in the minor score for Cardiff, so they'll end up winning the battle a little bit, but I mean they still need to get in front.
Exactly right. Roach does the kicking in duties. He went for Schindler Taylor, but on ground level now it looks like the Cardiff boys who are starting to get going. Hugh O'Neill.
Oh boy!
And kicked it out to the right. We've seen a lot of behinds at this end of the ground. 36 to Cardiff, place 37 for the Warners Bay boys. Away we go out again to this back flank side. But it was Quaid. Goes to that left boot towards full forward. Oh, then took a grab. How did he do that, Koshin? He's really stamped his authority on this second term. There were players everywhere. And Koshin ended up taking a really good, brave mark coming out from full forward. He's going to line up for his second for the term and also his second for the match, Andy.
Yep, so
directly in front?
Definitely. Koshin from right in front. Nice and easy. Should be aiming the right way. And he's done nicely. Nick Koshin second.
Well done to Nick Koshin. Kicked his second goal for the match. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Cardiff are in front for the first time today.
They are for the first time today.
And the home side is up and about. We mentioned it. There's plenty of a crowd here. You'd have to say the majority are probably Cardiff. There's a lot of Auskick kids as well. It's a real carnival atmosphere. And Koshin, the big body, took a strong grab directly in front and with this new midfield led by Sheldon, the Cardiff boys are starting to work their way back into the match. They now lead by 5 points.
So we just hit time on as well.
Yeah, they'd love to go into the
Long break, I think.
long ground in front. Absolutely. Prendergast now's in there for the Doggies. Good to see Spinks back on the ground. He limped off probably 15 minutes ago with what looked like a ankle injury, but it was only minor. He's back on the ground. We'll get the clearance. Once again, it goes the way.
Oh,
Just slung Bartlett. Never even attempted to handball it. Correct decision. And it was Chapman who started this game brilliantly, as Nick Chapman. He's been everywhere. It looked like for all money they were out again, the Bulldogs, with the last attack on goal for this half. And it's going to be a free kick that'll go the way of Warners Bay. Not sure what it was for, but it'll be Simon Rocco to take it. He's on the half-back flank. Dying seconds here. Second term at number 1 Sports Ground. I beg your pardon, I'm looking at 6 seconds. Forget that. 6 minutes is enough time for 10 goals. Anyway. Roach, he's at centre half forward. Who's he going to kick to on this occasion? He goes for his brother, why wouldn't you? Schindler Taylor was there, just got beaten at ground level. Oh, Stewart does what he does, but he's at the other end of the ground. Away they come, Atkin, another smother, that time by Koshin. Stewart's in there again. At the wrong end of the ground is Stewart.
It's like Jason Van the other week.
Turning around, kick up to full 40. Could have been held, Deverell, but he wasn't. Ball just bouncing around. It could have been Nickel, and geez, he went hard into the point post, did Downing. Ended up kicking it behind. 6 minutes remaining, not 6 seconds. Sheldon doing the kicking in duties for the Cardiff Hawks. Looks like he's shaping up to come out to this commentary side.
No, he decides to go short in, and it's going to be Hugh O'Neill.
Hugh O'Neill kicks to the middle of the ground. Goes for Koshin.
Oh, what a march.
Oh, gee, he's just been the most damaging player in the second quarter without a doubt. Pratt goes down towards Ryan. Couldn't take the grab. Oh, ball comes to ground. Away go the Hawks. Oh, and he misses. It was Jaleef. Missed to the left and just ended up grubbering it through. That's the kind of kick that Jason Dunstall hates.
Oh, shame, shame, shame.
Oh, Andy. He's got it all. He does the acting, the stats.
3 goals 6 to this quarter to 1 goals 2. We're about to have about 5 minutes to go. And Warners Bay need more positive football. There's Spinks now.
Spinks plays on and goes to his left foot. And, oh, gee, it's a good kick. This might be Hardman, the young man, the 15-year-old. Look at the pace. Takes on an Elliot Davey medalist in Sheldon. Hardman lines him up. Oh, you could see the Warners Bay boys are getting excited. I love to see that. The 15-year-old, he didn't know who he was running away from, one of the veterans of the league, and just clicked his heels and away he went. Had a bounce within 44, but just missed Andy.
Oh, mate, I mean, he beat a rep player, definitely. He's been there for 10 years, and wow. He's got a future, that kid.
Absolutely. It was a half volley anyway. He might get it back here, Will Hardman. Lays a tackle. He just dropped it. Oh, it's poor umpiring. It was holding the ball every day of the week.
No.
All right, well, maybe not. It was Mayo. And away go Cardiff through centre half back. They're going to kick it out towards centre wing, but it's Quinn. He's got an absolute mile. He could have played on. Decided not to. Went for Deverell. Just used his body in the back there of his opponent. That was a good play. Handballs over to Sheldon, but missed him. Here's Hardman to get in that familiar pocket. Tried keeping it in, but couldn't. It's going to be a boundary throw in. This game's definitely gone up a notch.
Yeah, I think he was trying to do the Golden State move there, but unfortunately it wasn't the right way.
Boundary throw in. Warners Bay absolutely pressing. Cardiff doing really well to hold them out. But anyway, Spinks wheels around onto his right boot. And the ball just dropped short there of Deverell, who's looked super active down there playing on Mayo. Schindler Taylor's in there for the Warners Bay boys. He's been barely sighted. He goes out towards Pratt. And it was just Pratt was playing in front. Handballed off to Zach Metcalf. He goes back to Pratt. Short. The kicking side works. And now Cardiff take control. Plenty of time for both sides to score here. Late stages of the second term. Look at Stewart, just over the top. He's done that all game so far. He's been brilliant. There's Marn. Goes out to Roach. Here they come again, Warners Bay. It's only a couple of kicks end to end here. And Newcastle number 1 and Schindler Taylor. He's got players deep. It might be Deverell. It is. Deverell was all on his own. They just kicked it over the zone.
It's going to be Jack Downing.
Beg your pardon, Downing and Jack Downing. How many goals has he kicked?
This is for his second.
This is for his second, Andy.
So I think Jack Downing will count himself in. Good lead up by Rob Schindler Taylor. I mean, he has a quiet game, but that was a good setup. This could be a good chance for a goal assist.
Talking to me, mate, Jack Downing. He's been lively this second term.
He has. Hopefully Warners Bay can rely on him to get a major to get him back in front. And he comes. Maybe he's nicely moved through. Jack Downing's going to get his second for the day. And
Downing kicks his second goal. Warners Bay respond in a really good sort of 5-minute period of footy here in the later stages of the first half. Downing's been great. It was Schindler Taylor who took the grab at centre half forward and delivered beautifully. In the end, it was just about an uncontested mark to Downing. Thanks very much to Bar TV and also Wilson Security, the major sponsor, for making this coverage possible. One of the best grounds to call footy from is Newcastle number 1. As it gets slightly darker here.
There won't be any rain forecast, mate. I'll tell you what, I've looked at the radar.
Stats Baldwin looks at the radar. He's very rarely wrong, this fella. It was Aiken doing the ruck work. He won the tap, but now Cardiff starting to even out the midfield battle a little bit. It was Spriggs on the bottom of the pack for them. Just trying to beat a couple of tacklers and away they go. It's Chapman, who's had a really good second term. Oh, the kick was affected, or he was affected by a tackle. But in the end, it didn't matter, and it was Dalton who took the mark. I believe Dalton's kicked one already, has he, Andy?
Yes, he has, and he'll be landing up for number 2.
So Jay Dalton came into the side this week. He was one of 7 by the possibly 8 that came into the side for the Cardiff Hawks.
So Jay
They're
Dalton,
gelling well.
Here he comes now. Chance to get him back in the front. And he comes, nicely off the boot. Umpire doesn't move.
It's a goal fest, absolute goal fest here at Newcastle number 1 Sports Ground. Dalton responds to a goal by Downing at the other end. And late stages here of the first half, it's Cardiff who get their noses back in front. They're 4 points over Warners Bay, Andy.
Warners Bay, I mean, they need to move it again. I mean, it's been goal for goal, but I mean, high scoring game is not beyond limits. We've got about 2 minutes left in this quarter. I think I've got a funny feeling that Cardiff will hold on for this, to hold on to a lead heading into the 25-minute break.
It's going to be who can sustain the pressure longer in this match. Aiken again up against James. He's such a good ruckman, is Aiken. But Cardiff now through half back. They've got all the running. Spinks went hard. He was brilliant. Bartlam ducked his head and just kicked it forward. He's got out there Hardman. Oh, the live wire. Jack Hardman in his first match. We keep calling his name. We saw him run down this commentary side about 5 minutes ago, having a bounce in front of Timmy Sheldon. And Hardman, the young 15-year-old on debut, touted as the next great player from this part of the world. Isaac Heaney, Andy Baldwin says. Wouldn't that be great for the footy club and the Hunter region? Talking me in Hardman.
So Hardman in from about 35, slight angle. Just going to make a move. And just across the face. An unlucky shot, but good effort nonetheless. I mean, he's got at least now 13 touches. He's done his job.
13 touches. It's very specific, mate. Here's Metcalf. Comes out towards half-back. Thompson just let it go. But in the end, it was well done to Pfeiffer.
I think that kid's on the ground there on that fence. It was lucky there wasn't near him.
Quaid and Roach having a bit to say to one another.
Oh, no.
And Quaid put his left hand on the man bun there of Roach. And it's going to be the umpire points towards a free kick for Cardiff. So I think it will be Quaid.
I think it's to Warners Bay.
I beg your pardon. Sorry to be Roach.
Luke Roach is going to take it.
Interesting. Okay. Another free kick for an off-the-ball incident. Bartlam in the middle of the ground. He goes out wide again. This is Quinn. Just plays the wing position so beautifully, does Quinn. Back and forward. Chips it up now, looking for Downing, playing on Metcalf, but Zach Metcalf did beautifully with the right-hand punch. Here's Hardman again. And a few undisciplined acts are costing these teams forward entries. You'd hate to see it cost them the game. Nothing wrong with a bit of feel, though, Andy. It's good to see.
Indeed. We're about to hit half-time here. as the sausages get warmer on the barbecue.
We can hear him
downstairs.
sizzling, mate. Jeez, I'm hungry, just quietly. Half-time at Newcastle number 1 Sports Ground. It is Cardiff 49, leading Warners Bay 46. Goal kickers, please, Andy Baldwin.
The goal kickers, thanks to Belmont 16-footers. Cardiff 2 to Jay Dalton and Nick Koshin. Singles to Dustin Spriggs, Jerome Quaid and Trent Thompson. For Warners Bay, 3 for Tom Prentice, 2 to Jack Downing and 1 to the debutant Jack Hardman. It's number 1 Sports Ground at half-time. We're looking forward to the Oz kickers coming onto the field. The newest blood of the players. We'll be back within the 25 minutes, but stay around. There's a lot of Oz kickers that want to see you be shown on television.
Car 33, proceed to level 2, check on its service. Command, this is Car 33, I'm going on my break. We have a visual.
Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Star 104.
Don't miss the Wilson Security Black Diamond AFL this weekend. Entry to all games is free. Check out the game times and venues at bdafl.com.au. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.
Welcome back at Newcastle number 1 Sports Ground. It's time for the second half here between the Cardiff Hawks and the Warners Bay Bulldogs. It's the Cardiff Hawks in front. 3 points is the margin at this stage. Really good second half of footy coming up, and it was Aiken who got the first tap, as he did play so well in that first half. Really set the authority early for Warners Bay. And they had a lot of the midfield ascendancy in that first half of footy. Here we go again. So Warners Bay early through Prendergast going forward. Oh, Hardman. This young man in his first game, the 15-year-old, he came to life in the second term. Had a couple of opportunities to hit goals. He did miss them both. He gets his chance here to kick his second from pretty much the same spot where he kicked his first, Andy.
Yep, very much the same spot. I mean, a little further out, maybe, but he's got the boots, I must admit. He's a 15-year-old with mighty boots, and he comes just on 44, and again, a push.
Yeah, if the kick went short, it was Schindler Taylor down there who couldn't take the grab, and it's
rushed through for a minus.
Probably his set shot kicking is the only thing that's
let him down a bit.
Let him down today. He could have really stamped his authority, Hardman, but he looks a good player.
Well, he's got a future.
That one's been turned over straight away. Goes to the 50-gamer in Deverell. And Deverell's about 50 metres out. He'll extra pass. He goes down towards Roach. But the kicking today inside 50 from both sides has left a little bit to be desired. Comes out towards his centre wing position. Oh, Deverell again.
He'll get it back.
He had his head down from his last kick, but thought, I've got to make amends here. And Lachlan Deverell went off the mark and kicked into the middle of the ground, as they've done so often, both these sides. It was Luke Roach who couldn't take a mark. Matt Marnes screwed around onto his right boot. Hardman went up again with the hands, but was punched away with good authority. It was Turner who laid off a handball, and free kick he paid. It's going to be a holding decision going the way of Cardiff. Must have held on too long after the initial disposal. Cardiff elect to come out to this commentary side wing. Metcalf does really well punching from behind. It was Ryan under there who got a handball out, and they're away. Goes out towards Quaid, and Tom Quaid takes a strong mark. Goes to his left foot. Kicks down towards the half-forward flank. It's a one-on-one contest, and it was really well done there by Hillier, who had a pretty good second term. Goes back to Kosher, the goal kicker. Went to ground, but did pretty well. Under there was Marn, and kicking it out there is, it may be Gibbons for the Warners Bay Bulldogs. The way they go again, Sheldon's been everywhere in this match so far, but they're out here. Looks like Zach Metcalf. He's closing in on 50 metres. Elects to kick to the top of the goal square. In front's Gibbons, but over the back. Terrific grab there taken by Jay Dalton. And he'll go back and line up for his third shot at goal.
He's about to have a shot.
Dalton will go back here, line up for his third. He's been a real presence up forward today. And Cardiff here have a chance to extend the margin out to 8 points, early stages of the third quarter. So here comes Dalton, pretty much directly in front, 20 metres out. Goes back, makes no mistake. Dalton kicks his third. Cardiff out to an 8-point lead, but if this match is anything to go by, it doesn't mean a great deal. It's been a bit of a shootout.
Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider, delivering a wide range of services to a diverse range of customers. For all your security needs, call Wilson Security on 1300 Wilson.
Back into the middle of the ground here, opening stages. Nearly 4 minutes gone. Newcastle, number 1 sports ground. Cardiff still searching for their first win of the season. They're 0-5. Dearly love to get a scalp today at home. Aiken again now with the head bandaged. Won the tap once more, but Cardiff are doing pretty well once the ball goes to ground level. Tackled there was Norton, who had a really good first half. Stewart needs to get active. Comes out wide further to, in the 30 jumper is Jaleef. He goes down towards centre half forward. Just worked under it there was Ryan. Alex Metcalf now playing at centre half back was taken over the shoulder. And the umpire in the middle of the ground pays that one. It looks like it was Spriggs who impeded there. Oh, the Warners Bay players both went for the specky. They both had hands on it. Turner went in again, trying to butter up and get the handball out. Was tackled. And it was that's a terrible decision. Nothing further said. Bad decision there. It'll go the way of Jaleef again.
Jolloff, I think.
Jolloff, beg your pardon. Jolloff's on centre wing and kicks towards centre half forward and goes for Koshin. Stewart has been sensational at centre half back. Marn there at ground level tries to pick up the loose ball. Spriggs laid a brilliant tackle. Well, if you're going to go by the decision in the middle of the ground, you have to ping that one as well. Anyway, ball comes back into centre wing, and it was a great spoil there by Deverell. We don't mind seeing him pay just as long as they're consistent. That one was a shotgun decision.
So
throw in now. Nearly just over 5 minutes gone. This is Adlington. Out to Hillier, who's getting really active. They go to Ryan. Gee, the Warners Bay backline standing up brilliantly. That's Marn, and the switch is on, and away they go out to Quinn. He plays the wing so well. He got a shock and bounce, but got it back again anyway. Quinn just waltzes through the middle of the ground. No one goes near him. Kicks to Luke Roach and just drops a simple mark. He had about 6 Hawks around him, but the kick was perfect. Ended up spilling it. Stacks on, and they'll end up having a ball up.
I don't think it was a sun in his eyes, mate, but I mean, probably Warners Bay had the inspiration of a special guest in their change rooms at half time, I suppose.
Possibly, mate. What's the temperature now at ground level?
It's currently at 21, mate. But
21? I reckon it's less than that, but anyway.
It's 18 in here, mate.
18, righto. It's less than in here then. Down it goes towards Zach Metcalf, that was, I believe, for Cardiff. Really like Hillier's game. Started on the bench and he's really come to life. Schindler Taylor did really well. Got the handball back out the front, and that was high.
Not
over
paid.
the shot. No, it wasn't paid.
Yeah,
Both umpires blew the whistle there, and it's going to go the way of Cardiff.
Well.
So, anyway, play goes on. I thought Prentice might have been taken high. Away goes Warners Bay. They're attacking again. Goes through the hands of Marn and Turner. Now it comes out wide again. That's Quinn. Back inside. And it ends up in the hands of Turner. A true centre-half back position. Warners Bay just trying to play a little bit of tempo footy here. Nearly 7 minutes played. Cardiff with an 8-point lead, searching for that first win of the season. They're pressing again through centre half forward. Fife at that time with the punch over the top. Down to Stewart. Really like the game of these backmen for the Bulldogs. Comes through the hands of Bartland. They need their good users to get their hands on the footy, and Roach is out. Luke Roach sees his brother pointing in a certain direction, and another butchered kick from the Bulldogs. It's skill errors letting them down here from hitting the scoreboard. Meanwhile, up the other end, the Cardiff Hawks have been a little bit more economical.
Just some score update around the grounds, thanks to our good friends at Belmont 16-footers. Half-time at Adelaide Street, it's Kalani Vale 7-4-46, leading Nelson Bay 2-4-16, considering Nelson Bay were in front at quarter time.
Okay, so big score that one. Bartlam flew high over the top, couldn't take the grab. Little scrubbery kick there was from Nick Chapman. Goes down to Pfeiffer in his 50th game and just threw it on the left boot to centre half forward. Needed to be a little bit more composed there, did Rowan Pfeiffer.
He's got to move his play on now.
Play on is the call.
And it's straight into Hillier. He's short. He's got his room up there, at least a kilometre.
It might be Zach Metcalf there who measures the kick to centre half forward and goes for that man again. Dalton, why wouldn't you? He's been really active. Here's Prentice. Kicked the first 3 goals for Warners Bay. He's still on that number. Goes straight back to centre half forward, and that is a terrific grab. And it might be Hardman. Gee, he's got good hands and very good pace as this kid.
Oh, they've got
a terrific kick. Goes out Alex Metcalf. Didn't play on. Did play on in the end. Left foot kick to the middle of the ground. It's a terrible kick.
That was right in the sun.
Had so much time. Anyway, the ball comes out to Nickel. Can't take clean possession. Still can't. Ends up grubbing it off the ground. And Warners Bay, with all the footy in their half of the ground early, can't kick a score. They still trail by now. It looks like an even goal. 6 points in favour of the Hawks. And as it's been probably all day, Warners Bay at ground level have looked the better side. It's the tall timber up forward, Koshin and Ryan, and also Dalton in this last 2 quarters, which have really stood up for the Hawks. Anyway, away we go again. This time it's Quinton Davis trying to effect a kick. And it's a really good grab there. Taken by Jolliffe on centre wing. He's going to go for Quaid, but geez, outnumbered. Might have been touched, but fair enough. Paid the mark there to Matt Mahon, and away they go. The switch is on again. Here's Quinn. Had a really good game as Quinn. How do they use it? This is probably the kick that's hurt the Bulldogs a little bit.
Oh, he's ran too far.
You're joking. I was counting the steps. I thought he probably had another 3 or 4 maybe.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean...
Red hot decision. Red hot. If you actually look from where he got the footy on centre half back, there's no way that's 15 metres. He may have taken the steps. I think that probably was a little bit harsh on him.
Oh, I think it was about 12 metres, mate. He ran 12.
Maybe 12. Okay. Well, they go forward again, this time through Clinton James. And it's Quaid who just pops it to the top of the goal square on his left side looking for Koshin.
And he's got it.
Oh, it is. It's a mark.
Yeah.
Clean grab. Taken by Dalton. Dalton's really popped up and, as mentioned earlier, he came into the side this week. He was one of 8 players that didn't play last week for the Hawks.
So when he comes
and this now is to give them their biggest lead of the game, Andy.
Yep, biggest game lead. And no mistake. Now he's got 4. And Cardiff now pulling slowly away. But Warners Bay, they've got to improve now. 3 goals, 1 they had originally. And now they've kicked 6 goals, 12.
They... have had plenty of the ball, Warners Bay, make no mistake, going forward. They've looked good in patches, but going inside 50, it's a couple of iffy set shots on goal and some average kicks on the run, which have let them down a little bit. On the flip side, the Cardiff boys have gone to Dalton, and he's kicked now the 4 goals, and he's really starting to be a strong figure up forward. Midfield battle now super important. It's one of the smallest grounds in the league, is number 1. Atkin has won just about every ruck tap, but Cardiff now probably levelling on the clearance statistics. Atkin once again gets that right hand to it. Warners Bay, they've gone forward plenty of times. Here's Prentice again, breaks a tackle. He's a good player. Gives it back there, play on the call. That time he was tackled, got a kick away, fair enough. And this is now through Pratt. He's being tackled hard there by Deverell, didn't impede. Goes over the back, couldn't take the mark. There was Quaid. And there's Koshin also. They go for that man Dalton again. Why wouldn't you? Goes onto the right foot. Does Dalton. Screws it round the body. Misses to the right.
He's now got 4 goals, 3. But
he's got 4-3. So 7 scoring shots for Jay Dalton. Looks a good player.
All right, next week it's back here at Number 1 Sports Ground for another twilight fixture again between Newcastle and Killarney Vale. Both teams having a week off. Newcastle have the pride of the week off as they played last week against Terrigal.
Yep. 2 weeks ago. Last week, obviously, the representative fixture. Great win to the Black Diamond. Congratulations to them. And now Warners Bay. What have they got? What can they respond with? They're 14 points down.
And then they can't do that.
And that's pretty much been the story of the day. The kicking has let the side down. Stewart just took an easy chest mark. Went through Adlington. Sheldon, sold him into some trouble. Prentice is there. Roach is there. It was Hardman who laid the tackle. We love Hardman. Look at him go. He's a little ferret for the ball. We love to see it. Lays another great tackle. Umpire paid holding the ball.
This time.
360-degree angle, and he's arguably now the most lively Warners Bay player is Hardman. Can he deliver? How's his kicking going? It looks good on this occasion.
Nice.
Hits Roach. And Jake Roach will line up for goal. He's going to kick from that 45-metre arc. But congratulations there to Hardman in what is otherwise not a great functioning forward line at the moment, Andy. Hardman stepped up, laid a tackle, forward pressure. Very important in modern day footy.
Indeed. I think Jake Roach will get this from here. I mean, he's got the kicking boots on him. He's going to kick from about 42 out. And with the sun in his eyes, I don't think it'll affect him too much. 44 out. Nicely done. Oh! Hits the fat post on the top. And I tell you what,
A few guys had a bit of money on that by the sound of it.
yeah, the money
poster there.
markers have gone.
Was paying about
Very
30
quiet.
to 1. Anyway, here go the Hawks. They get another let off to the Hawks. Kosher now in the centre square. Just wheels around onto that right boot. He'll probably go for Dalton. He doesn't. He goes for Quade. Oh, the Cardiff crowd erupt. Shades of Wingard last night for Port Adelaide. Just stuck the left hand up and took a lovely juggling mark. And some of these Cardiff forwards, I don't know what they were doing in the first half, but they've run out here after half time and they've pretty much grabbed everything and kicked everything that's come their way. This is a massive kick. This is a bit of breathing space if this goes through here for the Hawks. So Quade, he comes in, played the whole game pretty much at full forward. Goes straight over the goal umpire's head. Quade, how many is that for him, Andy?
And that's his second now, and the margin is pulling away once again.
Yeah, look, for the first time in this game, there's a little bit of a buffer between these two sides. It's Cardiff who just looks so much more clean going forward. Warners Bay are having the opportunities, but they just can't seem to capitalise on these forward entries. And it's Quade, it's Dalton, it's Koshin who are causing a bit of havoc. Let's see who they've got down there. We've loved Stewart's game. He's playing on Koshin. It's Pfeiffer down in deep full back, the 50 gamer. He's on Quade. And it might be Prendergast. Is it playing on Dalton? So big matchups there for the Warners Bay coaching staff to think about. Spinks, he started the game so well. He's electric. He goes down towards Aiken, but the kick beats him. Nichols down there. Gee, the ball bounces awkwardly for all players. But Cardiff might be good enough here to get out a bit of trouble. And it's a clever banana kick around the corner. And here go the Hawks. They're on centre wing. They got their tails up a little bit. Goes down to Koshin playing on Stewart. Stewart just doesn't get beaten. Stewart gives a handball now, but it's intercepted by Koshin. Are the Hawks away? No, he went to ground at a crucial time. There's the goal kicker, Quade. Prendergast just got a handball outside, and that one's Pfeiffer. He kicks down towards centre wing, and it's well done to Luke Roach. Just read the ball off the boot beautifully. Bit going on down here on centre wing. It's Marn up against Quade. Quade, having a bit to say in this match. Had a little bit of a disagreement with one of the other Warners Bay boys early in the match. It's going to be a throw-in, however, down on the half-forward flank.
So what's Mark Botterill thinking now? I mean, there's 15 and now nearing 16 minutes into the quarter, and you have not scored a goal for a while. You need to get the next two, you think?
Well, it's hard to coach skill errors because I think, it's a little bit scrappy on both sides, but it's when they're going forward. Cardiff just looks so much better. Anyway, let's see what happens here. This is Rocco. Rocco's got it. He's going to go for that kick into the middle of the ground. They've done this all day. They can't afford to turn it over. Marn's got the ball. That's still another turnover. He went for Prentice. Anyway, they got away with it. Quinn's got pace. Ended up getting a handball off just in time. Down there was Aiken, the ruckman. Once again, sloppy forward work, and it comes out again for Cardiff. 3-on-1, but just reading the ball the best was Hugh O'Neill. Took a mark, middle of the ground, and look at the switches on. They've got all the runners they can go here. It might be Quade. No, it's not Quade because Quade's down forward. Anyway, he hits the kick perfectly, and it's Jolliffe. Or Jolliffe.
Josh Jolliffe will have a shot.
He was on the team sheet playing in the back line. He's been bobbing up around half forward. Talk him in, Andy.
Jolliffe, in he comes. In he comes. Just not going to make it's going to be a minus score to the near side. It's now 10-9, playing 6-13. Both teams have now scored 19 scoring shots, but it's been Cardiff who have been superior as we're nearing the 17-minute mark.
Really important part of the game, this premiership quarter. They're going to go straight up the ground. It was Jake Roach who had the kicking in duties, and he goes to his brother again. They just got it long. They just bombed it out of there. He did well, did Luke Roach. Gave it off to Alex Metcalf, and they kick up forward. They're looking for Downing, who was impressive in the second term. Oh, look at the numbers down here, though, for the Bulldogs. Hits Aiken, and Hardman's running on his own into the goal square. He probably made the right decision in the end, and the umpire calls him back around.
It'll come back.
It's going to come back.
It's going to come back. So I must admit, it's going to come back on the, they call it the Isaac Heaney Project corner here, because he's got a goal here as a junior. Tough angle.
Crowd getting very vocal. Anyway, Aiken decided to centre the ball. He was going for Nickel, and it was Timmy Sheldon who chopped in, punched the ball over the line. He played a lot of that first half in the back line, did Sheldon. Dugan's put him in the midfield to try and get the team going, and it has worked. Hang on, I beg your pardon. What's going on?
He's going to have another... Didn't go round.
Okay, so he was never on his right line is the answer for Aiken.
So he's going to have a shot. I don't think he's got a chance, probably 30% maybe. Oh, he's going to have to take it again. Or is he going to claim
He
it?
kicks the goal. Aiken screws it around his body. Third time lucky. He had 2 kicks but was never on the right line. And Aiken kicks a goal for the Bulldogs, and it's fair to say that it was dearly, dearly needed. They now trail by 14 points, Andy. We've still got a game on our hands.
We do indeed. I mean, probably they've got the motivation behind it of Tony Shaw that they had at half time. Still bringing down there next. I must admit, did you love the Oz kick down here at half time?
Yeah, the Oz kick was sensational. There were shades of the MCG. Very impressive to see. And as Andy mentioned, the Collingwood Premiership captain is here today for a Warners Bay function. He gave the halftime address. And they got plenty of the footy early on, did Warners Bay, but they weren't able to convert. They finally got a goal in the third quarter. Don't worry about Cardiff, though. They're up for the challenge. Stewart's in there for them, as is Luke Roach, who's been pretty active. Geez, the ball comes out. Little handball out from Prentice, went off to Nickel. Great kick from Nickel.
Just across the
To
face.
the right. We've seen 1,000 behinds up that end today.
Especially to that side again. I mean,
This is Metcalf. How can Cardiff respond?
we'll have to just move it a bit more faster. I mean, that's what they're doing at the moment. They've got the acreage there.
Exactly. This is Spriggs. He kicks to... he just
look at
used his body beautifully
Oh,
to... No, umpire's paid push in the back.
For a roving
It's
push.
going to come back.
Obstruction really seemed. Just about to hit time on in this third quarter. Warners Bay needing to get another goal somewhere. They'll get the ball here through, I believe. Anyway, he comes in. Along the
Where it
centre.
goes, down towards the half-forward line for Warners Bay. Plenty of action down this end of the ground. Not enough goals, though, for the red, white and blue side. Ended up throwing it out there to the Cardiff player, and that's a good decision. Is that advantage?
No, I don't think there'll be advantage. So
No advantage. Harden was away, and he's probably the quickest man on the field there. The ump takes an overhead mark. Ended up fumbling. Okay, so Prentice.
let's see, he's going to go short.
He kicked 3 goals early in the match, and that's good use of the footy, and he goes to that man Hardman. He just looks a level above almost. He's just got that look about him, that classy look, and he's still a very lean boy. He's only 15 years of age. He's got some growing to do, no doubt about that.
I think it's too far out to score, Ron. I mean, but you never know. He'd probably have those mighty boots. He goes short.
Hardman, the kick let him down a little bit there. Sheldon will be the first one there. For Cardiff, but he got a handball out. Prendergast is there. Tackled by Spriggs. Wasn't without the footy. Well, Hardman again just goes hard at the contest. Dished off a handball. Quinn
And misses.
misses again.
7-14 now. So
Well, they're coming back, but they're coming back the hard way. They're kicking a lot of behinds. Gee, he just looks so clean, Hardman. Mark Cottrell would love to get the boy to settle into the club for a few years to come. It'd be fantastic. That's a shocking kick in. Went for Spriggs. Missed him again.
they
Few
got a
Skilleros
chance
here today. There's Nickel. Ended up dropping it. Sheldon was clean. Spriggs is in there again. Zach Metcalf put his head over the footy. Did nearly a 360. Away come Cardiff. They might get away with it, but it's another average kick. Hillier, he dropped it. That's holding the footy. No. Play on the call. Away they go again, and just coming around is Deverill in his 50th game. Left foot snap. Lockie Deverill kicks the goal. Warners Bay are coming at 62, playing 69. That's a 7-point margin, Andy. Really good game of footy.
Definitely, mate. I mean, we've got now a game on. I mean, I think now with about 3.5 minutes left in the quarter, Warners Bay get another goal. We're in for a thrilling final quarter.
Absolutely, mate.
And hopefully we get the voice of football up here as well. I mean, no Gary Birkinshaw, don't worry. We've got the best in the business here.
You talking about me?
Yeah, we're both of us, mate. We're the best in the business.
All right, so James up against Bartlam now. He's doing a bit of time in the ruck, as we mentioned he would early. James gets a tap down. It was Pratt. So important, these midfield clearances on such a small ground. Pratt's going hard. There's Deverill. He's got his tail up after the goal.
Maybe a ball up. Joe O'Brien calls in.
Crucial now that the players finish these quarters well. Don't want to go to sleep and allow another goal. You just get a feeling this game's going to go down to the line. Pratt screws it round onto his left side, goes for Koshin. Warners Bay with numbers. They'll get possession first, but they go to ground again. That time it was Marn who slipped over. At centre half back, here comes the handball out. And a little chip over the top, goes to full forward, but it was another one of those nothing kicks.
And another point, I mean.
Oh, I don't know about it. It was Josh Jolliffe on that occasion who kicked it in. Just went to nobody. Anyway, this hasn't been touched. Spinks is pursuing it, and it's out on the full. It was never touched. So it's going to go back to Cardiff. They're going to... Have we got enough time, Andy?
We do indeed, mate. We've got about 2 minutes left, and it's too far out to score, I think, for Viking. He's going to go short back and to...
Sheldon.
Nice.
Sheldon switches play.
Well,
comes into Metcalf.
All right.
And Metcalf... Yeah, enough time for either side to score here. Ended up just chipping it in. Went to no one in particular. Fumbly there was Stewart. Probably better with the overhead ball. Pfeiffer also in his 50th game. But another terrible kick. Just gets chopped off there by Quinton Davis. And Cardiff attack again. Into full forward. Umpire blows the free kick. It's going to Warners Bay. Pushing the back, was it, Andy?
Pushing the back. And I tell you what, I mean, he has the right to call it. But it was a right fair call.
Okay, so Pfeiffer. You can hear some of the
a bit of vocalness.
crowd members not happy with that decision. Plenty of life in this game of footy. It's fantastic to see. Really like Quinn as a wingman. He was on his left side, and they're out here. They need to run hard.
They move.
Prentice has a bounce. He draws a play. They do really well. And away go the doggies.
They got to go. It's a chance, one-on-one.
They got enough. Oh! Couldn't take a grab. It was Aiken who's playing at full forward. Went for the attempted hanger and had the sit. Just couldn't take it. And Hardman, look at the pace coming through. End-to-end footy here at Newcastle #1 Sports Ground. Cardiff are out over the back. Might be Hillier to take the mark. He does. He was uncontested in the end. Nickel stands the mark. Where are the numbers? They're going to come out to our commentary side. He's going to go for Koshin. Pfeiffer was good. Just led him to the footy. Here's Marn. Does well. Goes on to his right foot and kicks back towards his centre-half forward position. Went for Nickel. He couldn't take the mark. Down there is Michael Norton. Back to Stewart. Back to Norton. Overused it a little bit. Roach. Oh, he did well, Norton. He's going to get pinged.
He will
play
be.
on. No. Fell off the tackle in the end, so play on. Good decision. And here they come. So Pratt. Left foot kick to centre half forward. He's going to go for Dalton. Why wouldn't he? Punch to ground, and the numbers there are with the doggies. Handball was partially intercepted. It was actually pretty well done down there by Jolliffe. Stewart again loved his game, but got tackled on that occasion. No free kick. Alex Metcalf really going up a level this game of footy. This is Rocco.
Oh, hang on.
Looks like a shoulder. Someone's holding a shoulder here for Cardiff. Play goes on. They're kicking it straight back to where the player's down. This is awkward. Couldn't take a mark. Down there was Gibbons for the doggies. Cardiff are out anyway. The player's back up. He seems to... It was Quaid. Siren's going to go. Siren beats the players. And at three-quarter time... And we just look down there. You can see with the camera... it's a Cardiff player. It's Jolliffe. He's down holding a shoulder or a collarbone maybe. We hope he's all right. Anyway, looking back at the scoreboard, it's a 9-point lead to Cardiff at three-quarter time. This game's got plenty of life in it. Who are the goal kickers, Andy?
Goal kickers, thanks to the Belmont 16-footers. Goal kickers, Dalton. They got 4 for Cardiff, 2 to Koshin, 2 to Quaid, singles to Spriggs and Thompson. For Warners Bay, 3 to Tom Prentice, 2 to Jack Downing, 1 to Jack Hardman, 1 to Lockie Deverell, and 1 to Anthony Aitken. The margin is 7 points. It's three-quarter time here at #1 Sports Ground. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in a few moments.
.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the Hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Car 33, proceed to level 2, check on its service.
Command, this is Car 33. I'm going on my break.
We have a visual.
Welcome back, Newcastle #1 Sports Ground here. It's three-quarter times over, actually, and one even goal in front of the Cardiff Hawks. They're searching for their first win of the year. Andy, it's a great game of footy.
Yes, mate. I mean, it's tough to decide who's going to get our player of the match as well.
I don't really want to make that decision just yet. I'm a bit nervous about it.
No,
It
nor-
could go to a handful of players, but we'll see what happens at the end of this one. So here we go. Warners Bay looking for their third win. Cardiff looking for their first. They're the home side. And it's going to be Crawley doing the ruck work now. So it looks like Aiken will be playing that full forward role, trying to kick a score. Sheldon gets first clean possession off centre half back. That's where he's done so much today. Ball comes out and Cardiff with the first clean possession. Goals here so important. One of the smallest grounds in the league. Oh, and it's a good grab there taken by Mick Ryan. Just wheels around onto the right boot. And Koshin takes a grab 40 metres out directly in front of goal. He's going to have a chance here to go back and give the Hawks a 2-goal buffer. Early seconds here of the fourth term.
So we're lining up for his third. I think he's got the distance in him, in Koshin. Bringing out to 12 points if he does successful.
Koshin just lumbers in. Kicks from right on that 44. It might have the distance just. It does. Over the goal umpire's head. Look, gee, they're up and about the Hawks. Koshin, big high five to his ruckman there. And the Hawks are up and about early. 2-goal leaders now in a fairly low-scoring match. Very important play to come. We've mentioned it so many times. Clearance is so important, Andy.
Indeed. I must admit, but if the Cardiff get the first 2 to 3 goals, I think it might be too much for the Warners Bay, maybe.
We'll see what happens. They've left Atkin up in the forward line. He's playing full forward. Obviously, Cottrell's thinking is he wants a big guy to be able to go up there and take a grab and kick a score. I don't mind that move. Anyway, they get clean clearance, and it's going to be through their ruckman, Bartlam. Kicks down there in the Hardman direction. We've loved his game, but so often as he's done today. Look at Sheldon. Just waltzes through centre half back. He's been one of the best players on the ground. Oh, well chopped off there. I think it's Matt Mahon. Takes a great mark on centre wing. Warners Bay pushing for that last finals berth. We know Terrigal, Killarney Vale and Newcastle will be there. Who's going to take the 4th spot? Here we go. Warners Bay looking good now. They kick down in towards full forward. It was a kick with no real purpose. It was Aiken who let his man Zach Metcalf get to the footy first. It'll be a boundary throw in deep. Really important to thank Wilson Security, they're our major sponsor, as well as the Bar TV guys for putting on the production. Boundary throw in. Early stages, last quarter. Luke Roach, first to get there for the Bulldogs, couldn't get clean possession. Umpire balls it up.
We'll ball it up from 40 out.
Been a bit of feel in this one, Andy. A few 50s today. How many you reckon? 5 or 6?
6 at least, and well, there must be at least probably 20 plus intercept kicks from both teams, really.
Yeah, skill errors have hurt both sides a little bit. Probably more so as Bay. Just didn't have as many avenues to goal as Cardiff did in that third term. Away goes Sheldon again. He's had heaps of the pill. Kicks into the middle of the ground. And the Hawks just using the ball well, chipping it around. This is Adlington. Had a really good first half. He slowed up a little bit in the second. Just marshalling his troops. Goes down in the Quaid direction. He's had plenty to say to his opposition today. Involved in a couple of scuffles. And Mahon does well. Mahon kicks down towards centre half forward and Hardman jumped early. Prentice was there, just bopped over the back. He's going in for his 4th. He's Prentice. Into an open goal.
Ryan.
Oh, Prentice. He kicked straight into the man on the mark. He got blurred vision. He's going to get another crack. He's on his wrong side. He's going to get tackled. Prentice. He's muffed it a couple of times holding the footy. He's had 30 seconds. He'd rather forget young Prentice. And the Cardiff guys didn't give up. He just had to chip it over the top or handball it anyway. Play goes on. Metcalf. He's got Mayo out here. He's going to go for him on centre wing. Drop the mark in the end. Bobbles over the boundary line. Congratulations to Deverell down in front of us here. He's playing his 50th game today, sharing the spoils with Rowan Pfeiffer and young Jack Hardman, number 7 for Warners Bay, playing his first game. So plenty to play for the Bulldogs. Cardiff obviously looking for their first win of the season, and they're playing at home. Good crowd in as well. They're out here. Mayo get clean possession. Try to take on a tackle. It was Roach. Threw it out.
Yeah, I mean,
holding the ball. If anything, it was probably a throw. But anyway, holding the ball was paid. Roach gallops through centre half back. It's a poor kick. Just goes over the head of everyone. Cardiff will get first possession. And just forcing the ball forward was Stewart. They're going to kick now down towards centre half forward. They don't want to let another goal in here, Warners Bay. And well done to Roach. Couldn't take a grab. Stewart was good. Away they go again. This is Deverell. Gives the handball over to the big ruckman in Crawley. Back they go again. They don't want to overuse it. Who have they got through the middle of the ground? It's pretty well done. Stewart made a contest and got the hands free. Did really well. Deverell's hot here. Holding the ball.
Yeah.
Great tackle there by Hillier. Max Hillier. I've liked his second half. And either a lack of torque, he just had the blinkers on, did Deverell. Beelined it for the middle of the ground, but Hillier cut him off. And now you can just see Roach and Mahon flooding back for the Bulldogs. Oh, well done, Hardman. Hardman spoiled there in front of Zach Metcalf, and he's got good pace. Could have backed himself. Oh, didn't have to. Turner has to run harder for the goal square. No, he's not even calling for it, Turner.
I think he should have.
Oh, absolutely.
But if he misses this one, I mean, it's a real let
Turner,
off.
he didn't even seem to want the footy.
So he's going to have a shot anyway.
It'll be the big ruckman. Beg your pardon, it won't. It'll be
Anthony Aiken.
It is Aiken. Goes back.
Just across
Misses
the face.
to the left. It's an important miss. He punches his hand.
That's
He
17
knows it
behinds.
was.
Well, that's 17 behinds now. I mean,
17 behinds, is it for them?
17.
Yeah, you're not going to win many games of footy like that. Sheldon just goes the chip in. This is to Zach Metcalf. He's going to go for Koshin in front of our commentary box. And, the Warners Bay players stayed down. It was pretty good play in the end.
That was pathetic.
Anyway, it's Prendergast. Paid the mark there as the umpire, and the other umpires Play. Okay, so play on it is anyway. Oh, it's a switch
Dangerous.
across ground. I don't know about that. Anyway, Metcalf. They're playing this with the skin of their teeth. Across it goes again. Players just throwing themselves at the footy. Seems to go to ground a lot more than it does with contested marks. Maybe something the coaches could look at. Anyway, it's cut off.
By Anthony
Deep back,
Rocco.
that will be Simon Rocco. And he goes for the middle of the ground. It has to be a good kick. Oh, well spoiled there. Anyway, Warners Bay get it back. Roach tried to take on a tackler and beat one. It was Quaid. Roach bounces to within 40.
Yes, sir.
Kicks a goal. That's a leader's goal there from Jake Roach. Oh, he's done a hemi. Oh, that's terrible to see. You can see the Warners Bay players. They're calling for the trainer. Jake Roach has done a hemi as he's kicked it.
It's not looking good.
No
for Jake,
doubt about it. That is a 3-week injury.
at least.
Yeah, he's hobbling. He kicked the goal, did Roach. You can see his face. Oh, that's sad to see. Such an important player. He would have finished this game in the midfield, and you would think he's
I
not
think he's done for the day.
he's not taking any further part in this match. Great goal nonetheless. All the best. Back in the middle it goes. Cardiff will get the clearance, kicking into centre half forward. Suddenly the game's opened up a little bit here. This is Hugh O'Neill. He had the kick, went out further wide. That's Michael Norton. He's had a good game.
So you're back in probably from
They
about
lead by 5 points, Andy.
5 points.
Are they going to hold on or what?
I think they can hold on, but it'll be goal for goal in this quarter as Norton's going to have a shot on the 44. Yeah, it looks all right.
Norton kicks a great goal. The Cardiff fans go up. Well done to Michael Norton. He kicks his first of the match. And just like that, the margin goes back out to 11 points.
11 points, and now, well, as I said, I think it'll be goal for goal from now on, but both teams are tiring, and oh boy.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. It's getting a little cooler again, but
You can just see down here in front of our commentary box, Jake Roach, one of the leaders of the club. He kicked a goal no more than 2 minutes ago and pulled his right hamstring in the process. He's hobbling around the boundary line. He's sure to miss at least 2 to 3 weeks. Anyway, Deverell with possession in the middle of the ground. He chips it out to the wing. And Quinn, he's almost just... I haven't seen him out on this wing. It's like he stays on the same wing for the whole game. Hardman looks a good player. Just spilt the mark on that occasion, but look at him go with the second effort. Got a kick off the ground. Sheldon once again just playing that loose man in defence. Good clearing kick.
but
That time by Regan Bowe.
the mark will be taken by Quinn on towards Warners Bay's.
He owns
forward
that
line.
wing, doesn't he?
He does. Name it a Quinn wing, but it's not his home ground.
Quinn anyway goes back down to Bowe. He gets another clearance kick in the direction of Thompson.
Another boundary.
It'll go over the boundary line. Really great game of footy, this one. Thanks to Bar TV. Also thanks to all of our major sponsors, Wilson Security, BLK, Subway Morisset, Belmont 16-footers,
GE Industrial.
Industrial got some great sponsors. It was Dalton who got to the footy first in front of Spinks for the Bulldogs. There's Prentice, just a little left foot kick. Comes back though to Hillier. That one didn't go to 15. It'll be play on. Clearance is so important. Just bombing the ball back.
His turnovers are killing now, Warners Bay. I mean,
Yeah,
I think that's probably fatigue as well, but I mean,
definitely.
both teams are struggling with fatigue, it must be said. Deverell is there.
Anyway, here we
Oh,
go.
look
This
at
is
that.
Deverell. He's out. Just decided to kick.
Oh,
and then
unbelievable.
There's
What's
no one home. Aiken, the ruckman. That bounces terribly for him. Oh, he couldn't lay the tackle. Was Cashew Sheldon, and it was
Jackie Hardman.
Hardman, the gun, in his first game. Kicks a goal there for the Doggies, and they're back to
Within 5 points again.
maybe 5 points. I don't know what happened there. There was just no Cardiff players home.
That was an empty goal square. I mean, it was like the Dogs had gone, "Look, go away. I mean, there's no Hawks allowed in this.
Very
area.
bizarre. Anyway, it was Aiken who got possession. Sheldon couldn't lay the tackle. Handballed over to Jack Harbin, just 15 years of age, on debut here for the Warners Bay Footy Club. And just 5 points the margin. It really could go either way.
Is it too early to say to draw?
For 5 points, well, you never know. We're paying long odds at the start of the day. Another ruck win to the Warners Bay player on that occasion. Sheldon now playing in the middle of the ground. Goes down towards Hardman again. Playing one out. That's what they've been saying all day. Anyway, Roach just threw it on the right boot. Could have given it.
It's out on a full.
Could have given it. Hardman, you can see his hands out. He wanted the handball. Roach got a little bit hungry in front of goals. That was Luke Roach. And Metcalf now. Beg your pardon. Yeah, it is Metcalf. He'll kick in after the out on the full kick. Oh, so many drop marks today. Uncontested marks from both teams. Anyway, that's Norton. Really good game of footy this. Getting to the later stages, the last 10 minutes. Terrific mark taken by the veteran. It was Ben Stewart. Back in the side today after missing the last 3 weeks with injury, as is Sheldon, as is Mick Ryan. Mick Ryan's been barely sighted with injury to his right leg. Gets a really fortuitous bounce there, does Stewart. And away goes Thompson. He has a bounce, but he's got a player just there. Goes to Ryan, who is stationary. And he just got beaten. Metcalf goes to try and break a tackle. Couldn't. Should be holding the ball and is. Good decision. He just was a little bit slow at the contest. And Nick Maddock.
It's been pinned for a throw.
Nick Maddock wants to give the ball to someone else. He probably wants to go off the ground. Anyway, take your kick, son. Maddock. Putrid looking kick. Schindler Taylor. Cuts it off at centre half back.
Shadow's starting to appear over number one sports ground as it's going to closer and closer to time. We're just nearing halfway over the quarter.
Schindler Taylor goes down. Downing was a flyer. No one really stayed down. Prentice probably should have. Anyway, tackle on Vukovic. He almost took on Downing. They want ball, the Warners Bay fans. Metcalf again. He wasn't put off by the last holding the ball decision. Goes to break a tackle. Left foot kick in towards full forward and Aitken. Oh, well done there, Zach Metcalf. But he's outnumbered. Here's Luke Roach. Oh, does well. Just gets a little tap on. It's Hardman again. Hardman for 2 goals in 2 minutes.
No.
Misses.
That's going to kill him again. I mean, that's those points.
Yeah. I thought he might have kicked that one, young Hardman.
Number 18. And again, I mean, goal kicking could be affected today.
Plenty of time left. At least another 10 minutes of game time. Sheldon, he's been a colossal. He's been classy for the Cardiff boys today. He'll be in the running for that man of the match should the Hawks get up. Goes out towards Ryan. No one really attempting to take the grab. Pratt's on the bottom of the pack. Metcalf's had a big 5 minutes. Schindler Taylor in there lays the tackle. Mick Ryan didn't really want it. Here's Spinks. Just the pace. Onto his left side. Was pushed after he kicked it. No free kick out on the full. It's going to go back to Cardiff. But it's at the right end of the ground for the Bulldogs. They trail 4 points at this stage of the match. Sheldon again. Kicks it down the direction of Vukovic. Got it on the bounce. In there is Prendergast. Another kick out there by Vukovic. And Schindler Taylor could play on. He does. Oh, just throws it on the boot to Hardman.
Well done. And the 2 youngsters.
Exactly. Schindler Taylor. Rob Schindler Taylor gave it off. And just a nice little half kick off the instep. And Jack Hardman, we keep mentioning this kid. He's a 15-year-old. Look at him. Just a boy. Very lightly built. Still got some growing to do. But he looks completely at home here, senior footy. He's lining up for what, his second?
This is for his third, and I must admit, this is for the front. Jack, don't pressure it. No pressure, son. Oh, has he got it through this time? He has!
He's kicked it. Man. Hardman kicks the goal, and the Bulldogs players go to him. You wouldn't read about it. They are in front. Warners Bay are back in the lead. It's still a shootout, but gee, the last few minutes, they found their run again. It could still go either way. Hardman.
Wow.
Gee, he looks a classy kid. He's kicked his 3rd goal and he's probably kicked a few points as well. He could have had 5 or 6.
3-4.
3-4, okay.
But I must admit, I'll tell you what, this is grandstand finish material.
Late stages here. Nearly 16 minutes played here. And clearance is so important. Deverell will be there to a first in his 50th game. He'd dearly love a win. Goes back to Marn. He looks composed. Kicks now down towards centre half forward. Goes for Schindler. Made a contest. Schindler did pretty well. He was involved in the last goal. Got a great handball out to Downing. Couldn't take clean possession. And Vukovic was playing the sole defender there for the Cardiff Hawks. Scoreboard, 2 points the margin in favour of Warners Bay. Great game of footy this one. Cardiff dearly need a win. Such a proud club. They're yet to register one in 2015.
And they don't want to be left out of the finals for the first time in 15 years.
They've got a lot to do to make the finals. A lot to do. Warners Bay look the more likely team to to press this year, but a long way to go. Schindler Taylor just throws it on the right. There's Stewart. Down it goes to Spinks. He's just a live wire. Goes so hard at the footy. Ball that one up, umpire. He does.
I'll tell you what, I mean, he's recovered very well since that knock in the second quarter, I must admit.
Exactly right. 2 points the margin. It's the closest Bar TV game we've covered this season. About time we had one, Josh.
Definitely.
Anyway, Stewart, Schindler Taylor, Metcalf. Went out of bounds. Good decision, boundary umpire. Who's that one, Andy?
Be Lincoln McCauley, the greats. He's got the father of Simon McCauley, a member of Newcastle City.
Good man.
But I must admit, Newcastle City will be in action next week in a twilight fixture here at Number 1 Sports Ground against Kalani Vale.
That'll be a great game as well.
A team that they lost to last time they played.
Exactly. Anyway, that was Metcalf. Left foot again, goes to centre half forward. Read it poorly, did Hardman, the goal kicker. And it was Jolliffe who got the kick to centre half forward. Warners Bay, they're flooding back pretty much. Gee, that's a risky kick. Marn's been brilliant in the last 5 minutes. Kicks down towards Luke Roach. Strong. Wasn't paid the mark. Fair enough. Goes back to Marn. Marn now kicks to centre half forward, but it's all Cardiff. Metcalf and Sheldon. Metcalf played on in the long socks. Kicks now down to centre half forward again, and he goes. They ran into each other, the Hawks players. It was a sure shot on goal. Anyway, they might get it back. Scrubbery kick to full forward. Now there's a Warners player. He copped a knee to the head. It looks shocking. Anyway, Spinks was clever. Got the socket kick out to Deverell. Deverell now on his left foot. Goes around to it. Yeah, hits Metcalf. And Metcalf has it on the half-back flank. They can't start winding down the clock yet. There's more than 5 minutes to play. Metcalf goes down to... well done, Deverell. Just took the half volley. Tried to beat a tackle and did. Now kicks towards centre half forward. Goes for Aiken. He's got him.
Well done.
Bravo!
And you can see Aiken, he's just absolutely exhausted. He led hard. A couple of really hard efforts. Zachy Metcalf was chasing him, but the representative ruckman had a great game in the rep win last week. He'd love to dearly kick a goal for his club. Talk him in, Andy.
Anthony Aiken, tight angle, the very tough kicks here at Number 1 Sports Ground. You back him from 40% to 60. It's not going to go to right distance. It's going to miss.
Just tried to sort of nurse it through a little bit. He didn't really kick through the footy. It wasn't a terrible one, but it missed to the far side. Another behind.
Yeah, and we've just about hit red time as well, so that's the last
just
5
about
minutes.
to hit red time. It's Warners Bay. 3 points in front. Late stages.
11-19.
Went out towards Norton. He dropped a mark. Here's Spriggs. Cardiff players getting tackled everywhere. It was Stewart on that occasion. Pretty clever kick over the top. Boundary line's a win here for Cardiff. Almost threw it down, did Ryan. Deverell again. He's been everywhere. Goes back to Matt Marr, one of the best players on the ground, but kind of murdered that one a little bit. Dalton, handball back inside. This is Hillier. He just poked at it. No, he went for Dalton, did he?
He's got the chance.
We'll say he went for Dalton. Anyway, Rocco. Ball never went out of play. And back come Warners Bay, this time through Sam Gibbons. And Deverell, who's racking up the possessions out on this far wing. They've got to lead hard, these Warners Bay boys. They're tired. Goes for Prendergast. Chest mark. Well done. Good tempo footy.
Both teams are struggling now.
Less than 5 minutes remaining. Goes for Prentice up against Sheldon. Timmy Sheldon wasn't paid the mark. Stewart comes back inside. And away go Cardiff again through centre half forward. Coming across there was Pfeiffer. Now he butters up and kicks back to centre half forward. It's end to end. Goes to Luke Roach over the backs. Prentice. He kicked 3 goals early. Prentice from 44. Drills it into Aiken.
Handball.
He goes to handball over Taylor.
Schindler Taylor!
Goal.
That could be the game breaker. Robbie
Schindler Taylor kicks the goal after a clever handball over the top from Aiken. And is it too early to say Warners Bay? It is too early. There's still over 4 minutes to go. But they're out to a 9-point lead. Dying stages. Players are tired. Exciting, Andy.
Exciting, mate. This is the best game we've had all year. Well, it's too early to say that as well. But tell you what.
Thus far.
I mean, it's 4 minutes. Still game on. But I mean, both teams have got tired legs. Scoring shots at the moment have been very interesting. I'll go through it now. Basically, 22 to Cardiff to 12-10. Meanwhile, Warners Bay have got 12 goals and 19, so 31 scoring shots.
So Warners Bay have had the majority of scoring, just haven't been as efficient in front of goal, which you definitely notice if you're watching this game. Cardiff this time, they need a goal. They need a goal from probably this play. Who's going to kick it for them? Around the outside, but the tackling's ferocious. Who's going to be down there? Oh, look at them come out of the back line. It's Metcalf. He's been terrific, particularly in this quarter. Comes out to centre wing. Spinks went hard at it. Schindler Taylor, the goal kicker, comes back inside. That time to Nickel. Don't argue. Broke the tackle. Goes into the middle of the ground. Downfield. No. Downfield. They're going on with it a little bit. And Deverell there.
The book's out all right. It's looking like something bad.
I didn't actually see the incident, but the umpire is going for a card.
And I don't know who we're going to see. It's got it.
It's might be Ben Stewart.
Could very well be. We'll just see what that. It's going to be Jason Cruel's going to signal it to. Can't see him.
And it's a yellow card to Ben Stewart. I'll have to go to my resident umpire.
Yeah, well, I think
Andy Baldwin. It won't have any impact on the time anyway, because time will beat the suspension.
Yeah,
but they're going to be a man down, Cardiff. That's the big news.
That could be costly.
Oh no, he's able to be substituted by the look of it.
Yeah, that's the rule. I think you've got to be. You can be substituted. The only thing is you're not allowed a substitution if it's a red card.
So Ben Stewart is being sent off. His side down by 9 points.
And there's only
2.5 minutes to go. They need a goal. They need two of them actually to Cardiff.
So they need to move. I mean,
so it is 18 on 18. It's Pratt who comes on for the Hawks.
So
but the ball's in the wrong hands as far as Cardiff are concerned. It's going to go forward for Warners Bay. Centre half forward. Going down there towards Aiken. Why wouldn't you go for him? He's been brilliant. Out it comes to this commentary side again, Cardiff. But he just kicks it back in hope. Couldn't take a mark there was the Ruckman Crawley. He's been pretty good since he came onto the ground. Cardiff need to do something pretty special if they're going to end this losing streak in 2015.
They need a Usain Bolt moment +2. I think they need to get a goal within the next 30 seconds to even.
Yeah, you'd say so, absolutely, mate.
Seconds.
Bartlam, though, it's in the wrong hands for them. Metcalf's going to get it. He's had so much of it off centre-half back. Now goes down towards Luke Roach. Couldn't take the chest mark. Doing well there. Might have been, it was Mayo. He goes towards centre-half forward. Oh, no mark taken. Play on. It's in the hands of Warners Bay again. Matt Mahon, he'll certainly be in the running for the man of the match as well.
But I must admit, it's in the right area. They've got a bit of time, but they need to get a goal ASAP.
Absolutely. 9 points down. Dying stages of this match. We are deep into time on here at Newcastle number 1. Warners Bay look odds on to have their third win of the season. Cardiff, potentially, I don't think in their history they ever would have been 0-6. But still a little bit of time left. They need a goal in the next 10, 20 seconds.
No, I don't see it happening now. They've got both teams have got tired legs. Their future games next week. Cardiff have got Nelson Bay, and Warners Bay have got Terrigal Avoca. So both games are going to be crucial for both teams.
Looks like it might be Warners Bay who are going to get the clearance here, and with that clearance, you'd think they'd get the victory. Cardiff not willing to let this game go. It was late goals from Hardland and Schindler Taylor who have stamped their authority. Deverell punches forward. Back to Metcalf. He's played well. As is this man, Timmy Sheldon. He's been excellent. Hartman is away. This is surely going to seal it for the Bulldogs. Hartman goes long down towards Aiken. He's got it. And Aiken takes the chest mark. Warners Bay will win. Warners Bay will win. A great game of footy in the Black Diamond League. They're going to go 3-4 in 2015. Unfortunately for Cardiff, it's a 0-6 start to the season. Warners Bay will win.
And easy as you'd like. Sneaks it
Aiken
through.
kicks the goal. And with that, you can see the look on the players' faces. They know there's no time remaining. It's going to be 4 points to the Warners Bay Bulldogs. Another big scalp to go with the victory over Killarney Vale. And for Adam Dugan and the Hawks, it's back to the drawing board in 2015. They're going to go 0-6.
Very rare sight to see. That must have been Tony Shaw's words of wisdom. He's there on the sideline there.
Yep.
I must admit. He was a very quiet individual, it seems, as we go to the last throw up of the day.
Well done to Warners Bay. They're going to be victors today. Kicked forward. Metcalf, he's just been a colossal down back. Loved the first half of Stewart as well. He was terrific. He might. Warners Bay victory over the Cardiff Hawks at Newcastle #1 Sports Ground. 97-82. That is a 15-point margin. They got the jump on them early. It was 3 goals to Tom Prentice. Cardiff edged back in front in the second half. But in the last quarter, it was a couple of strong running goals from their youngsters that just got their noses over the line. Would you run through the goal kickers for us, please? Andy Baldwin.
The goal kickers finally, thanks to Belmont 16-footers. Cardiff have got 4 to Jay Dalton, 3 to Nick Koshin, 2 to Tom Quaid, singles to Dustin Spriggs, Michael Horton and Trent Thompson. For the victors, Warners Bay, 3 for Jack Hardman, 3 for Tom Prentice, 2 for Anthony Aiken, 2 for Jack Downing, singles for Jake Roach, hopefully he's all right, Lachlan Deverell and Rob Schindler-Taylor.
Thanks a lot, Andy. Terrific game of footy, this one. Just looking at some of the better players for the Cardiff boys. Firstly, Jay Dalton bobbed up, kicked a few goals, was really good in that third quarter. Thought Koshin presented really well all day. Ben Stewart got sent off late in the game, but was pretty influential through parts of the game as well. Thought Zach Metcalf tried hard all day at fullback. Just going down the list, Tim Sheldon, had they got over the line, he almost would have been best on ground. And they were really competitive today, Cardiff. It could have gone either way, but just in the end, they probably ran out of the legs, a little less leg speed. Looking at the victors, Jake Roach tried again all day, threw his weight around. Thought his brother Luke presented well as well. Matthew Spinks was just a ball of energy. He was brilliant on the bottom of just about every pack. Young Jack Hartman, congratulations to him on debut. A 15-year-old state representative player. Matt Mahon was sensational off half-back, as was Quinn out on a wing. Congratulations to Lachlan Deverell, 50 games, as well as Rowan Pfeiffer. Today, the Subway Man of the Match $20 voucher is going to go to the ruckman from Warners Bay and full forward Anthony Aiken. So congratulations to him. You agree with that one, Andy?
I do. I've got some nice scores now.
We'll just go for some scores before we wrap up.
The scores from the games at Black Diamond AFL, it was at Killarney Vale. Killarney Vale were too strong for Nelson Bay, 16-12, 108. Defeated Nelson Bay 7-5, 47. In the first division results we've just come through, we have got Cardiff, today basically, Wyoming Lakes were too strong against Killarney Vale. Singleton with weight were outclassed by Newcastle City. More results will come, but I'll call it up tonight.
Thanks a lot, Andy. So congratulations to Warners Bay. Congratulations to Anthony Aiken. He'll take home the Subway Morissette Man of the Match. Thanks a lot to Bar TV and to all our major sponsors.
Don't worry about next week.
And next week we have Newcastle City taking on Killarney Vale. That'll be a twilight match up here at Newcastle #1. But on behalf of myself, Ryan Webster and Andy Baldwin, thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the Hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Don't miss the Wilson Security Black Diamond AFL this weekend. Entry to all games is free. Check out the game times and venues at bdafl.com.au. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.